All right, fire them up!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Genre of Your Life podcast, a show all about movies, TV, and the genres that define us. I'm one of your hosts, Doug Jones. With me, as always, is my amazing co-host, one of the best dudes in the world, one of my best friends. It is the one, the only, it's the wonderful, it is Mr. Nick Johnson. How's it going, Nick?
I'm doing good. You are way too kind, my good sir, and I'm feeling like him today. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, my friend. No, I mean every word I say. It's why I always, you are the best to go to screenings with, best critic, best filmmaker, best reviewer. My friend, you are a legend, my friend. A legend.
Thank you, my bro. Thank you. Oh man, I'm about to blush up in here.
Nah, and of course we're missing our two other musketeers. We're missing Joe. We're missing Moses, who also Moses. Yeah, I love Moses so much. He won I think Moses actually got a film award at the AZ Filmmakers Phoenix Filmmaking.
Oh,
it was really cool. So also again, Moses again. God, I'm telling you, if you guys haven't seen Moses and Nick's short films, it's on our link tree. Please watch them. These guys busted their asses off for their short films. These guys are true auteurs, as we say in the
busted
filmmaking world.
Clean off.
Gotta watch
at the moment.
Assless chaps.
It's just when I turn around, you just see back and then the top of my legs.
Assless, fucking dodgeable assless chaps.
I haven't seen Dodgeball yet. It's on my list though.
You would love we gotta watch that soon too. You would love Dodgeball. Dodgeball to me is like legit like 2000s like peak comedy like that.
Yo, for real?
Barbershop, 40-year-old version.
Hell yeah.
Rush Hour.
Shit.
It's up there. It's up there.
I kind of like Rush Hour 2 a little bit more than Rush Hour, just because like that was when I was a kid. That was the only one I had was the second one. So like every Saturday morning, I was watching that with my cousins and everything.
Is that the one with Jeremy Piven?
Yeah.
That shit cracks me up, dude. Whenever I see Jeremy Piven in fucking Rush Hour 2.
He's like, "What size is the waist? Let's go in." Dang.
and then he goes right from that, and he goes right to fucking Ari Gold from Entourage.
Oh, that was right after Rush Hour.
Yeah, so it legit he legit did Rush Hour 2. Have you seen Old School yet?
Old School with Will Ferrell and
Wade
Wilson? No, I haven't.
Oh, you would love, dude, I'm telling you, you would love Old School. Old School was like close to home because we went to a big college, obviously, you and I. Yeah. So it definitely kind of hits home for us a little bit in terms of college a little bit.
I gotta watch it. I wonder if it's gonna hit more home since it'll be like my first time or something like that. Like, dang, I can't believe I've been missing out on this movie for all these years.
We didn't join a frat, but like there's a lot of like college things that like we can relate to. We're like, yep, that happened to us. Yep, we've been there before. Yep, that's accurate. So
I gotta see this.
I think you would like it. And of course, our boy Joe is working right now. So you got two of the dynamic duo right here. You got Mr. Nick Johnson. You got myself, Mr. Doug Jones. So
that's right.
We are happy that you all are here this week joining us. This is episode number 47. I think we're into our 50s, man.
Damn,
yeah,
47 like the Hitman character.
Yeah, and fortunately, I get a Hitman movie. Yeah, unfortunately, those two have been ass.
I got to admit, the first one that they made, that's the better of the two, in my opinion.
That's with Timothy Olyphant, right?
That's right. We were just talking about Timothy Olyphant yesterday.
That's what we did. That's right. We totally did. I remember seeing it. Like I think I watched it in high school, and I was like, I remember me and Joel had to pay for that boo boo ass one, that remake. And
y'all paid for it?
Yeah, we do. Well, I paid for it.
I know.
I paid.
I should not have said that. Yo,
no, you know, no, we're fucking around. We're all fucking around. No, because like, no, we legit paid for. I think we legit paid for it. We were just like, oh yeah, we paid full price for that, unfortunately. But I had to go back and rewatch the OG one. But yes, episode number 47, my friend.
Okay,
Hitman. And we are getting to our early 50s, so we're getting there. We're getting there. We're slowly sinking into our 50s here. But thank you so much for all joining us this week. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back to the show. As always, guys, you can find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music. Caught myself that time. Amazon Music, or Spotify, or wherever podcasts are found. You can also find a full audio show on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Midway Avenue Productions, whether on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube Music. Subscribe, rate the show, please. We're kind of dealing with inside baseball. We're kind of dealing with a little bit with an Apple situation right now, Apple Podcast. So if you have been submitting your reviews, ratings to the show, trust me, they're there. Just Apple's taking a little bit longer to, let's say, display them. I'll use that word, display them. But again, we do appreciate all the support and all the feedback. I'll tell you what, Nick, I posted our reaction to the Ministry Gentleman the other day on TikTok, and the first comment was really nice. Actually, I was like, good, nice comment. That goes, "Oh, I am hyped for this movie. Can't wait to see this now." I was like, "You're welcome." I was
Heck
like, "You know what? We're doing our job. We're doing our job, and we appreciate whoever wrote that nice comment. Thank you for letting us know. That means a lot to us."
Yes, indeed. Thank y'all so much. And that's why we do what we do. We love movies. We love the
Amen.
movie watching experience, and we want to share it with everybody because why not? As Martin Scorsese said, it's cinema. And hot gosh darn it, I love me some good cinema. So yeah, we just want to spread the love of movies. I think that's why our opinions are just so positive.
Dude, they really are, and it's funny because, like, again, we haven't had. I'm trying to think. We haven't had a Exorcist believer situation.
That was ridiculous. I'm like, man.
The guy was like, "Man, fuck yo, go kill yourselves." And I replied back, I'm like, "Thank you."
Yeah, it's like, dang, we're over a movie review. Okay, like that's a bit extreme, I think, but
yeah. Hey, man. And YouTube was like, "We got your back. We'll take it down." I'm like, "No, hey, bad press is good press."
Exactly. Yeah, leave it up. Just let the world see.
Just saying. But okay. No, thank you all for joining this week. Again, for Apple Podcast listeners, we still have our giveaway going on. We're doing a giveaway right now of a mystery pack of 5 mini movie posters, as well as an Amazon gift card. So again, don't worry if the Apple Podcast not kind of displaying everyone's reviews right now. Just keep doing it; they'll eventually show up. So if you already entered, awesome. I'll be into those. Hopefully, probably pick someone. I would say around probably early to mid-May. So again, continue to enter the giveaway for that. But thank you all so much for the ongoing support. It truly, truly means the world to us. We love doing this for you all, doing this for ourselves. Again, like Nick said it perfectly. We love movies. This is a show that all about why we love movies and the big importance of like how they're important to us, and we enjoy kind of reacting and reviewing stuff. And again, it's a big joy out of our lives. So thank you all for kind of sticking with us on this journey, and we have a lot more in store for you guys this summer. I'm telling you, we got The Fall Guy, Planet of the Apes, we got Bad Boys 4, we got, oh my god, Deadpool 3. We got a lot on the horizons for you guys, so stay tuned, have notifications ready for our podcast. We have a lot coming to you in the pipeline this summer for you all, so stay tuned, my friends. So before the show began, me and Nick had a little pre-show, talking like what we want, like life and movies and kind of AI jokes here and there. So, I've been listening to other podcasts too. Again, I'm a big Double Toasted Cinema Blend Joe Rogan fan, and Joe Rogan. Did you listen to the Zack Snyder podcast yet?
Some of it. I caught the parts where he was talking about why he thinks Batman should kill or something like that.
Yeah, so I watched some of the clips first, and my buddy Evan a few weeks ago came over to my apartment and we're talking about and he was saying that he was like, yo, if I were you, listen to the entire podcast through and through. It's a really great conversation. And Joe Rogan was kind of giving a lot of praise of how much he loves 300, how much he loves Watchmen and stuff like that. And just hearing the way Snyder speaks about just like his career and like where he came from and stuff like that too it's very. I mean, I'm like, it's a 3-hour it's a long podcast. I'm like an hour in, I want to say, but it's a very good conversation. Like, here, a filmmaker that you and I both admire and respect, and somebody who's been a big part of like why we love movies as well. But he was talking about how he got 300 made, and it's a very interesting story that like how he did Dawn of the Dead, his first kind of like coming out party, this was like his big movie, whatever, talk of the town, and that he really wanted to do a 300. So he was like, as he's famous for, Snyder's very known for like doing his like storyboarding, sketching his whole movie out and then writing it, whatever, afterwards. And he wanted to do 300 more than anything in the world. And around the town, I think it was around the time Dawn of the Dead was coming out, where he was like, yeah, guys, this movie coming out with Universal zombie movie, it's a remake, whatever. And at the time, people were like, you're doing a remake of a George Romero movie? You're pretty insane for that. But like, it's a pretty good remake if you ask me. And so he was going around shop, whatever, and no one wanted this movie, 300. And WB was all like, no, we have Troy, we're good. and and, and Snyder was all like, yeah, but this isn't Troy. Like, this is something. He goes, no, we have Brad Pitt, we have Troy. No, we don't want it.
Yeah.
And he was trying to explain to them, like, this is something different. Like, no. So Dawn of the Dead comes out, and as we all know in the industry, is that if you do a good movie, you can do whatever you want, basically. Obviously, we've seen that with Jordan Peele. We've seen that with John Favreau. We see Christopher Nolan.
John Favreau, yeah.
John Favreau, Christopher Nolan, Greta Gerwig. Unfortunately, Josh Trank before he got, I guess, he fucked over. When you have Ryan Coogler, perfect example, actually. You know, when your first movie's that good, you're kind of like, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do? And so when Dawn of the Dead came out, did really well, both critically and financially. WB was like, some producer at WB was like, so what do you want to do? And Snyder goes, well, I'll show you. And he brought out all his sketches, whatever. And I think the executive or producer at the time had like 300 the graphic novel on his desk. He goes, I want to do this. And he goes, what would you do with it? And he brought the sketches or whatever. And the guy was like, all right, let's go make it. Which is a really cool story to hear from Snyder's perspective. But they had another movie that they wanted him to direct. And that movie, Nick, was I Am Legend.
No
Yes,
effing way.
Yes, sir.
Yo,
Yes, sir.
oh
Yes, sir.
my gosh. Oh wow. That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
What would they like? How would that have gone? I wonder.
I forgot what he said originally. I think there was like a mix-up. So apparently he was supposed to do I Am Legend. He was signed on to I Am Legend, but then I think this is how crazy the industry is, that someone else already promised him. Francis Lawrence, also a great filmmaker too. Constantine, Hunger Games, I Am Legend, obviously great filmmaker. But I think there was like a mix-up of like who promised who what. So they kind of felt bad. So anyway, the executive liked his vision, but he already had him sign on to do I Am Legend first. But as like an apology, like, hey, we fucked up. What do you want to do? And he goes, well, we're doing 300, right? So they kind of fast tracked 300 because the executive liked his pitch, but also kind of an apology, like, hey, we fucked up. What do you want to do?
Wow, that's dope. I do feel like he's like an underappreciated filmmaker.
Oh, he is. Yeah. Oh, he definitely is. What's kind of crazy too is that there's a fucking BVS Easter egg in I Am Legend too.
Yeah, because like around that time, when did I Am Legend come out? 2009? 07. That's yes, right. Sir. But it took place in like not like 09. I think the flashbacks were in 09, but the movie itself took place in, I don't remember. But no, like that. So because originally Warner Brothers they were trying to do a Superman Batman movie, and I'm not gonna get into like the plot like that. I could if y'all want me to, but I won't do that. But yeah, so when that movie ended up just falling through and they didn't end up making, because I think one of the producers from that Superman Batman movie was also a producer on I Am Legend, and so like that's why they had that in there. But I gotta admit, because when I saw that in theaters, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I was like, what is this about? Like, are I making the movie or not?
Because the logo looked very similar to
Superman Returns logo.
Yes,
for
yes.
The Superman portion of
thank you. Yeah. Yes. This is like right after Batman Begins. This is right in between Batman Begins and Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Neil H. Moritz, who's a legendary Hollywood producer. He was a producer of that. David Heyman produced I Am Legend. No way. David Heyman is responsible for the Harry Potter franchise.
Okay, I was like, I know that name. I know that's not what I'm thinking of.
You know what it probably was?
Oh yeah, because they're both Warner Brothers. Huh?
No, it might have been Bruce Berman. He was an executive at WB for a long time.
Okay.
Dana Goldberg.
But, no, the interesting thing is, because you pointed out it was a Superman Returns logo.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, it wasn't going to be the Brandon Routh Superman in that movie. I think after that movie had basically just gotten scrapped.
Yeah.
Because they kept, like, Warner Brothers, they kept trying to do a Superman movie like in the early 2000s. Like at one point, J.J. Abrams, like, he had a script, and I think he might have directed it too. Like, had they made it, he would have directed it, but it was called like Superman Flyby. And funnily enough, Brandon Routh had auditioned for that movie, and then, you know, they didn't make that movie. He got Superman Returns, and Henry Cavill had also auditioned for Superman Flyby, but then they didn't make that movie. But then he ended up being in Man of Steel. So it's like that is really, really fascinating. And I think Amy Adams had also auditioned for Lois Lane in that movie as well.
No kidding.
Yeah, like dude, the whole they keep trying to make like a Superman movie, like that whole story, the whole behind the scenes stuff, like it's so fascinating to me, bro. Because I don't know if you've seen Wild Wild West with Will Smith and Kevin
Unfortunately,
Conner. No, that's my shit. That movie goes. I ain't gonna lie to
you
you.
love that. You love that movie?
Yeah, dude. As
Oh
a kid,
man,
that was a cool shit because we had the
you're right.
VCS.
You're right. You're
And
right.
like
You're right.
at the end of the VCS, after all the credits, it was the Will Smith Wild Wild West music video. So me and my
Video.
cousin Trey, we could sing the whole song right now almost, but we would like always like that was like you talk about like end credit scenes now, like how the MCU has end credit scenes. Imagine the end credit scene being a dope ass Will Smith cowboy music video that guest star Salma Hayek, and then right after that whole music video ends, Bailamos by Enrique Iglesias plays. Like it was that music video, and that shit went hard too. I didn't know who he was at the time, but bro, that was my shit. But the guy that directed, or John Peters was his name, he produced
Oh yeah.
Wild Wild West, and that scene with the huge spider.
Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
they the huge mechanical spider, like when he was attached to the Nicolas Cage movie, the Nicolas Cage Superman movie that was going to be directed by Tim Burton.
That's right.
He was pitching like the story to Kevin Smith because he was like,
Yep.
he's like, I want you to write it, and like at the end of the movie, he's like, I want this like really huge spider that Nicolas Cage Superman fights, and that's for spoiler alert, The Flash. They alluded to that in that Superman scene with them, but so again, like that Superman movie didn't get made, but then that producer John Peters, he also produced Wild Wild West, and he was like, we got to put a spider in this. I'm like, that's really fascinating. And at one point, they were trying to get Will Smith to play Superman, but after Wild Wild West, he was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
I'm gonna do Ali instead.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Okay. Even and Muhammad Ali, like he was like he wanted Will Smith to play him, and I'm like, that's insane. That's crazy. That's dope.
That's high praise.
Yeah.
You know what's I'm so glad you brought that up to the spider thing, because there, yeah, like the Kevin Smith thing. I've seen that talk about before. I've seen Kevin Smith in person for a Q&A thing, and it's really cool how he kind of approaches that thing. And yeah, how this guy was like obsessed with spiders. Like he was like, he had to put it in. He wanted, everyone's just like, what? Like, what is this?
Yeah, what was that about?
Have you ever seen are you a Paul Thomas Anderson fan?
He did There Will Be Blood?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
So he's kind of like a hit and miss sometimes, like Boogie Nights, There Will Be Blood.
Boogie Nights is wild, bro.
But what?
Oh my god,
that movie is wild.
I saw that movie with my brother. We were in Cancun, and it was playing in the hotel room, and we were like, "What the fuck?" Like, not like it was just like, y'all can't be showing all this on TV. This is insane.
Right, that movie is something else. That movie is, woof.
That was insane, bro. Yeah.
PTA did a movie a couple years ago called Licorice Pizza. It's a very underrated movie. It's very like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's very like Tarantino-esque. Anyway, so Bradley Cooper plays John Peters in that movie.
That's right.
And basically, like from like what Bradley Cooper plays is pretty spot on of how he is in real life. Like he was telling like he was like, because at the time he was dating Barbara Streisand at the time, and in the movie the kid was like, he goes, you know who I am? He was like, yeah. He goes, I'll fuck you up. You ruin my house. He goes, okay. And he goes, you know who my girlfriend is? Barbara Streisand. He goes, Barbara Streisand, sand, like sand. And like you see this unhinged John Peters, like this punching people, like breaking shit, whatever. Jeez. And Z was like, who was that? Who was that guy he's playing? I was like, oh, he's a real producer. And then online you see like, Licorice Pizza is pretty accurate who John Peters really was as a producer. And I was like, that makes sense, because you hear the stories about Superman and the spiders and shit. And you're like,
Superman shit was crazy, bro.
It kind of makes sense. But to your question earlier, I found the producer actually who was responsible for that. It's right here. Right here on IMDb. Go to IMDb. Lauren Orleans. She was an IMAX producer and a film producer, and she produced Superman Returns, Batman Begins, Dark Knight. So this is all an I Am Legend. So she was, and also some of the Harry Potter movies. So she was responsible for a lot of WB movies at the time, including Yeah. The worst Star Wars episode 2.
Episode 2. Okay, I think that's the one I've seen like the least. That one, that and
So
A New
bad.
Hope. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
New Hope. I feel like New Hope is like you don't see that. To your point, to your defense, I think you see a lot of Empire and Return of the Jedi a lot more than New Hope nowadays.
Yeah, like New Hope is good because it's a good story and it's a good movie for sure. But I feel like with Empire Strikes Back and was it Revenge of the Sith?
That was the Revenge of the Sith
Or
was the
no,
third.
that's Return of the Jedi. I
Return of
always
the
get those
Jedi.
fucking confused. But yeah, like with with the latter two movies, it's just like it's so much more. Like Empire Strikes Back is it's iconic because that's
Mhm.
the whole, spoiler alert for those of you out here haven't seen it. That one's like, no, Luke, I am your father. And again, going back to the whole fucking robotic arms thing, we were talking about that, I think, in the pre-show, but that's when Luke gets his arm cut off, and it's
Mhm.
like, that's insane. And that movie had Billy D. Williams in it.
Mhm.
You feel me? And it's
Mhm.
just like, man, and then
Coolest guy in the galaxy.
exactly, bro. And then when they're doing the sequel right after that, that's the whole conclusion. That's like the end
Mhm.
of the whole story, and it was like wow,
Mhm.
wow, 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 wow. That was really cool. I think with A New Hope, it's just like it's good, but it's kind of like this was just like the introduction to everything, and a lot of it was just like desert. Like for me personally, that's the main reason why I don't watch it. Like I just when I see a whole lot of desert in film, except for Denis Villeneuve's Dune movies, I can watch those movies all day, every day. But generally speaking, when it's like a whole lot of desert shit, I just like in a movie or a TV show, I just find that so incredibly boring. It's just so tough for me to get through.
No, it's definitely it's definitely a movie that I mean obviously it's like at the time it was like how iconic it. I mean it's still pretty iconic, but
Yeah.
I think for our generation, to your defense, to your reasoning, I think we kind of associate with like more Empire Strikes Back, and unfortunately the prequels. A lot of people our age grew up with the prequels, so it was like that was like our childhood, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And
You know
now the
what's funny
new
too?
yeah
A Phantom Menace. That was the first Star Wars movie I'd seen.
really.
Yeah. 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 So
I'm jealous because mine was Attack of the Clones was a shitty
oh,
ass
for real.
movie. No, I was telling you, dick. No, I remember my dad took me to see Attack of the Clones as a kid. I love this movie, and you're adult, you're like, wow, this movie sucks.
Yeah, it's like what is going on? And I do got to say though,
Sand, I hate
Revenge of the
sand.
Sith. Yeah, that's wild. But no, Revenge of the Sith though, that's genuinely a good movie to me. Like it's my favorite out of the prequel trilogy, but also it's just like no, that's just a dope Star Wars movie. I think his reasoning overall, though, in that first trilogy for him kind of like becoming Darth Vader is it leaves a bit to be desired for me personally.
Yeah,
But Revenge of the Sith, man, that shit was incredible because I saw like with my family, and it was like all of my cousins, all of my aunts and uncles, and my parents, and like right, we saw the movie, and then like right when we walk out the door of the theater, like into the hallway, we were all just standing out there for like an hour, like talking about it. Like it was like holy cow, and then like XYZ happened, so everyone was just like analyzing it and everything like that. But no, that's a good movie. I think it's a little slept on maybe, but it's good. It's good.
I agree with that. I think, also to what you said, too, I think the way y'all were talking about it when it came out, too, because at the time, that was quote unquote the last Star Wars movie that we're ever going to get. Like that
Yeah.
was like at the time, of course, it was like there's never gonna be another Star Wars movie. And as a kid, you're like, oh no, like don't tell me that. And then you
Yeah.
get up here like people buy Lucasfilm and people buy studios and shit. People buy IPs. So I think probably you inside it was like, how can we just dissect this because this is gonna be the quote unquote last Star Wars movie
Yeah.
ever.
Like that one, it had to be the best one.
Oh yeah,
It had to be because otherwise it would just be not just a disappointment, but damn near disrespectful.
it when you look. I think after you start, I think when you see what all this kind of Star Wars is doing now, it's freaking very divisive as we all know. But
Yeah.
I do think that to your point, I think you're right. I think it's very underappreciated when you go back at it. Like that's what kind of Star Wars is. I mean, there's lightsaber scenes. There's you got Ewan McGregor, you got Sam Jackson, you got a lot of stuff working.
Oh, Sam Jackson.
And
You know that part originally was supposed to go to Tupac, or at least he was like up for the
really,
role, something like that.
that
Yeah.
would be crazy, bro. That would have been
It
crazy,
was either supposed to go to him originally, or he had just like auditioned for it.
bro.
But
That
man,
That would
that
have
would
been
be dope.
crazy. That
That
would have
would
been
like
crazy,
if Tupac played Mace Windu, I would damn for sure demand a spinoff.
Damn, that would have that would have been, bro. Get fucking George Lucas away from that, and that's for
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
that's for sure.
He'd be like,
He
"Hi, Mr. Park. How's it going?"
did I ever tell you that I ran to him once in Chicago?
Into George Lucas?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Tupac for a
Oh
second. Bro. I
no,
was
bro!
like,
I went back in my
"What?"
DeLorean. I went back in my DeLorean and saw him in the '90s. No, yeah, George. I'm crazy. You're telling me this now? No, George. So yeah, so I used to work. So I used to go to as a kid growing up. I used to go to summer camp, day camp in Chicago, and they tore it down and they rebuilt it from like scratch, whatever. But what George Lucas says apparently that he was promised that land for a George Lucas museum, and this is like right during like when Disney was acquiring Lucasfilm and all that jazz. So he was told he was promised a park, I think like a museum and park for like him,
Mhm.
and he was promised that, but never really went through. So anyway, so I get I used to work there, then I got a job there later on, and my first so like before my like summer camp as a camp counselor, the Christmas before, I was supposed to go. I was kind of tour, kind of like getting out doing tours with my friends, whatever that were my coworkers.
Mhm.
And him and his wife were there, and the mayor of Chicago at the time was doing this thing. And dude, so I looked behind me, like someone's breathing on my neck. And I was like, "Who's breathing that heavy on my neck?" And I turned around and I was like, "Oh shit, it's George Lucas." And
Bro.
I wasn't really phased by it because I'm like, "Oh, George Lucas." I wasn't a big Star Wars fan growing up, but I was like, "Oh, it's cool, it's George Lucas." And dude, the whole time he has fucking like arms pouted. He goes, "This should be mine. This should have been my museum." And this dude looked fucking miserable, dude. Like people are like, "Oh my god, George Lucas, like let's get a selfie." He goes, "Okay." Like he did not
Jeez.
want to be there, and like he looked like he was honestly, it was like a silent protest. It sounded
Oh my
like.
god.
I swear, I was like, "All right, bro, like shit happens," but like he was like, "Man, they took it away from me. I
Damn,
should have used the
George.
force."
Oh.
But
Mm-mm-mm.
he literally that happened. But to your point, I do think, but I do think Revenge of the Sith is it's very underrated in terms of like the Star Wars franchise, because I think people
Yeah.
have a bad taste of 1 and 2 that three
Mhm.
gets kind of thrown in there. But if you go back at it, three is not a bad movie. Three's
It's
actually pretty good.
it's good. And you know what, before like we got into all of like the whole like Mandalorian and like Boba Fett and like Ahsoka, like because I think like in like the early 2000s, like 2010s maybe, like there was a period where it just kind of seemed like everybody was shitting on Hayden Christensen, and I kind of think that's maybe
Yeah,
why for at least a while there was this perception that even the third one was kind of whack because it was just associated with those prequels,
so him.
or not, yeah, with the prequel movies. But now there's like this, it's like a Hayden Christensen like renaissance, because like now it's like everybody like fucks with dude, and not trying to sound like a hater, but just like I'm kind of curious, like I wonder what changed, because I never like really had a problem with them. Like I liked him as an actor and I liked him in the role and everything, but it was like people were like shitting on him, and now it's like now he's getting the love and the respect I feel he deserves. But
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, I mean, to your point, he's also in a very underrated movie called Shattered Glass. Do you know that movie? It's
Shattered Glass, I don't think so, no.
it's basically he was this young journalist that like basically plagiarized everything, but like
Mm.
he got like always like journal he always like headlines and like magazine stuff. Like he was like it's a really underrated movie, and he's actually pretty good in it. But to your point, yeah, I mean we all know how toxic some fandoms can be, especially Star Wars.
Uh-huh.
And you're right. It's just like how that or the guy playing Jar Jar Binks was like almost wanted to kill himself. Like
Yeah.
it's toxic. So to
I
your point, go ahead.
No, I feel so bad for him when I heard that, bro. Because I wasn't even thinking about Jar Jar Binks like that. It was like he was a goofy character, but that's like as far as my thinking on that concept of Jar Jar Binks kind of went. I didn't
Yeah,
realize he was getting just berated with all that shit.
it's not the best. It's not the best. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not the most healthiest fan base. I'll say that. I'll say that.
Yeah,
I'll use that word. To use healthiest.
very intense or
It's a,
passionate, depending on where your head is at.
it's intense, and that's why I think we've seen that with Disney in charge of Lucasfilm. It's been very like, oh my god, like you either hate it or you just like oh my hate it or you just like you like it, but don't like. I haven't met really many people that like I don't know about you, but like have said like oh my gosh. And I again I'm going on my Kathleen Kennedy rant tonight, but like I haven't met a lot of people that like have really loved the Star Wars direction from Disney. Have you?
You've met people that like
No,
where Disney is
I
taking
haven't.
Star Wars?
No, I haven't. I haven't
Oh,
met.
okay.
I
I was about to
haven't. I
say,
really
who are
haven't.
these people?
Where they at?
Where
Where
did
they
you
at?
meet them?
Where they at?
I bet you I can count that entire community in one hand because, like,
That's being generous.
it seemed like when they dropped the trailer for Force Awakens,
Yeah.
everybody was hyped. I was hyped.
Yeah.
Everybody and their mama was hyped, bro. Because also it was
Oh
like,
my God,
oh,
dude.
the main character, the main character is gonna be black. Is John Boyega, and it ends with he has a lightsaber at the end. Like, oh, this is a
Goosebumps.
completely brand new direction. And then like I think like the second one, well, I guess they all had Rey in them, but like watching the movie it was kind of like, oh, I guess Rey's the main character. Okay, I didn't necessarily think that was gonna happen, and it just kind of felt like after Force Awakens, that's when it went downhill. Because Force Awakens, out of the sequel trilogy, Force Awakens was the best one.
Oh, for sure.
And it's especially like, dude, the hype around it, bro. Like, this is a new Star Wars movie. It's going in a new direction, presumably.
J.J. Abrams.
They got J.J. Abrams attached to it, the man that brought back Star Trek. That's crazy, man. I can't wait to see what he does with it. And like, again, the trailer was dope. The movie was dope. Like, dude, I was so excited to see that. When I saw the movie in theaters, like, I was like, oh my God, dude. Like, I was so excited. And it was really, really fucking good. But yeah, like, The Last Jedi was a bit divisive. And like, I like The Last Jedi now, but I liked it on like second rewatch. Like, at first it was like, this is whack. Like, visually it's cool, but it's just kind of too different from Star Wars, from The Force Awakens.
Right.
It's like, is
absolutely
like they did to a much, much lesser extent, a whole like DC thing where, okay, well, BVS is directed by Zack Snyder, and then its sequel, Justice League, now that's directed by Joss Whedon. So it's like both movies are like fine, depending on where your head is at, but there's like a tonal quasi quality difference to them. So that's a little distracting. Like with Last Jedi, it just felt like it just kind of felt like it's good, but it felt like kind of too different. It didn't feel like as cohesive. And then again with The Last Jedi, no, with Rise of Skywalker, pardon me, they went back to Abrams, but then they had to course correct everything that happened in the second movie. So again, it's just like the continuity or not continuity, but the consistency was just a tad bit off. And I think that's kind of what it was. Like, had they just had like Abrams direct each of the three movies and they knew where they wanted the story to end, I feel like the sequel trilogy I feel like it would have been a lot better than it is now.
Oh, 100%.
Like
100%.
Like maybe even iconic. If all of them were at least the same quality as The Force Awakens, like, bro, that would have brought Star Wars back. That would have been insane. That would have been
absolutely.
That would have been a much improved timeline. I feel like we're living in the less ideal timeline right now.
Oh, dude, spot on. And to piggyback what you just said too, it also it was clear that they had no plan. They had no plan. It was like, okay, we're gonna have 3 different directors. We're gonna have JJ do your thing, Rian Johnson do your thing, and then Colin Trevorrow at the time do your thing. And again, I'm not my rant again, but the difference between that was that also another thing too is that you can tell, again, this is like I talked about the screen the other day, how like the MCU phase 3, what a run. And you can tell that like, Kevin Feige was like, Kevin Feige knew Kevin Feige had a roadmap. He had a plan.
Yeah, he wasn't fucking around. He's like, again, this motherfucker don't miss.
Don't miss. And he legit had a plan. He knew he had a map out of like where we're going from Iron Man to Endgame. And I think he did. But with Kathleen Kennedy, it was like, okay, cool. JJ, what do you want to do? Okay, Ryan, what do you want to do? All right, how about you? Colin Trevorrow? Cool, do that. And then it's what we say all the time on the show too in Hollywood is that people are very reactionary. Oh, cool. Deadpool worked, but BVS didn't. Cool. Let's go fuck up Suicide Squad. And I still love Suicide Squad no matter what.
That's tough too. Cause Suicide Squad is slept on low key, and that's tough too because like the whole being reactionary, I kind of get that because it's like, well, we need to know like what works before we make our next move.
Absolutely.
But the problem is, it's like they lean way too much on that. Like definitely figure out what works just for the product in general, product for lack of a better term. Figure out what works for that product in general. Like, okay, like what kind of audience can we get with this? Like, how can we reach the majority of people? Like, figure out what works for that, but also just don't do exactly what other people do.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, find what works and do that, but in your own way. You feel me? Because like
Mm-hmm.
they haven't done that yet, and it clearly just isn't working because no one's liking their shit. People are hating like the movies that are coming out.
Yep. No, it's no, it's spot on, and you can. And I think you can really tell. Like, again, there was no consistency between the three movies. It
Yeah,
was like when JJ
that was a
came
huge
in,
problem.
huge problem. Like JJ came in, and Ryan goes, "Cool, I'm not doing anything what you said. I'm gonna do one thing." And then obviously, Colin Trevorrow got screwed over because what happened with his movie in between Jurassic World and Star Wars Episode 7, where his movie called, I think it was like something about Henry, something like that. How critically and financially that movie did, where Disney and Lucasfilm was like, haha, bro, nah, we don't trust you anymore. See ya, yeet, and then fired him off that. But I'll tell you what, I remember reading. So actually, I have a copy of this for my old computer, or whatever. I have a copy of the original script for episode 9, like Colin Trevorrow wrote. I like parts of Skywalker episode 9 to a degree. Some parts I do enjoy, but some parts I'm like, it's very damage control. It's very damage control to end.
I'm with you on that. In doing that whole damage control thing, it held it back.
It held it back, and it's just like it's like cleaned up right now. And
Yeah.
whatever JJ did, he's at a loss no matter what. People are gonna be like, no, you fucked up, or you didn't do good enough. So like he was at a loss. He was like, I'm coming back because I'm gonna come back. But like whatever he did, it was a lose. He didn't have a chance, and still made $1 billion, obviously. But it was a very disappointing conclusion to the franchise, to the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
So, and you just tell that there's literally no plan. And if you go back in time, I think Kathleen Kennedy and I think Disney and Lucasfilm should have been like, what? Let's map out this trilogy and also have directors lock the fuck in and not fire anyone without a reasonable, without a good cause. Like, someone's being harassed, being someone harassing or being awful. Obviously, you fire them, but like you gotta have someone that can bring a 3-act or 3-story structure.
Exactly.
Figure
out the whole story first, like write it all out, plan it all out, and then once you've done all of that, then start making the movie. Don't just like bullshit as you go. Like you can't make a bridge and walk across it at the same time.
Exactly.
I kind of felt like that's what they were doing with this trilogy.
Exactly, my guy. Once again, my friend, giving you the applause you deserve, and it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate that happened, but again, I think Lucasfilm needs a hard reset down the road. I don't know whether it's in shows or movies, but I think right now it's just like I think we have to miss. I think we have to miss Star Wars for a bit. Like with Marvel too, we had to miss Marvel. We had to miss like not seeing a Marvel movie for a while to get their feet, them back on their feet. Because I think why Deadpool 3 is so important, because it is the only MCU film this year coming out. You gotta make us miss you for a little bit, then come back. Like, oh, this is why we love Star Wars. This is why we love Marvel. And speaking of Marvel, actually, so I don't know if you heard this yet or not, but Sam Raimi is apparently rumored to direct Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland.
I have heard that. How are we feeling about that, Doug?
You know me as like the diehard Spider-Man fan. Diehard Toby trilogy, Toby trilogy, Sam Raimi trilogy. I don't know why I blanked for a second, but I really do love those movies. I think Sam Raimi. So to me. So I'm gonna pull the article over here actually right now. This is on comic book CBR.com, who I listen to a lot of their articles. So, originally they were gonna have Justin Lin going to direct Spider-Man 4, and I was like, I like Justin Lin a lot. He did probably the best Fast and Furious movies with 5 and 6. And
5 is my favorite.
It's the best one. And James Wan did a great job with 7. Don't get me wrong. James Wan did a phenomenal job. So this is according to CBR.com that that according to World of Real, Raimi is a top contender to direct the next Sony Marvel Spider-Man movie. Other names in the running include John Francis Daly, interesting, and Jonathan Goldstein, who did Game Night. Those who wrote the Horrible Bosses movie. They also did that Dungeons and Dragons movie. That was pretty good, actually. Jon Favreau, which is kind of a interesting choice
for Spider-Man.
Yeah, for Spider-Man 4, yeah. And the next, but originally, apparently this was Sony's top choice was Drew Goddard, who's now doing Matrix.
Okay.
About a few weeks ago on the podcast,
right.
And then
I'm
Justin
not totally
Lin.
surprised by that.
So listen, I'm not gonna bullshit. Sam Raimi is a legendary director. I mean, from his horror movies, from his trilogy of Spider-Man movies are a big part of my childhood, big part of our childhoods. Why I think I grabbed your hand in excitement when we saw them in Spider-Man No Way Home. I remember grabbing your hand, grabbing Zeta's hand. I'm like, yes, it's happening, guys. And
stood up and cheered.
Bro, I fucking cheered. I squealed, bro. I'm like, yes. I was like, yes. I was so happy because Sam Raimi, to me, he's a big part of my childhood. I'll tell you what, though, I think recent years, outside of Spider-Man trilogy, he hasn't had the best track record with movies. I don't think his Oz. There's a great Zach Galifianakis show, his Fern show, whatever, where he's interviewing James Franco. He goes, I loved your movie Ounce.
Oh yeah.
It's OZ. That didn't do well.
I was not feeling that movie.
That did well. And then I think you and I both agreed on that we weren't the biggest fans of Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. Correct?
Yeah, like if you watch it kind of just at face value, I guess, like it's a fun movie. Like I had a good time watching it, but when I was thinking about it on the drive home, I was just like, well, like, the movie kind of fell apart a little bit for me. And also it didn't like really feel like a Sam Raimi movie. It felt like a movie that kind of had some Sam Raimi elements in it.
Right. Yes. It didn't. I don't think it knew its voice. I don't think they knew really. And I think why that movie did so well was because it was off the heels of No Way Home. So they were like, "Ooh, cool. Who will we see next in the multiverse?" And obviously, people were kind of like, "Well, we didn't really see shit. we didn't really see anything." I remember because even though it made a lot of money, it was literally because oh wow, like it was off the heels and the hype of No Way Home, because it was like No Way Home brought back everyone, the Spider-Man universe, and the franchise as a whole. So I personally don't see this happening. I think Sony probably has a good relationship with them because of his trilogy. How do you feel about it?
Well, like I'm with you. Like the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, that was the first Sam Raimi. It was the first Spider-Man movie I'd seen. It was the first Sam Raimi movie I'd seen, and it was just like, it's incredible. Like, dude, that's like one. We gotta link up and rewatch it. Like, that's one of my movies. That's probably top 10 for sure.
Hell yes.
And like I like him as a director, and I agree with everything that you said. But I feel like for the Tom Holland Spider-Man 4, that's not really the best choice. Because again, like with Doctor Strange Part 2, like it was cool, it was a fun movie, but it's like it didn't really feel like a Sam Raimi movie.
Yeah, it didn't.
And I'm nervous about that happening again, where it's like it's all of this hype over this Marvel movie, and part of the hype is like, oh, because it's going to be Sam Raimi. But then it's like you watch it and it's like, I wanted to see a Sam Raimi movie, not a movie with some Sam Raimi elements in it. And also, if you're going to have Sam Raimi do a Spider-Man movie, just have him do Spider-Man 4 with Tobey.
Right.
That's who he needs to do Spider-Man 4 with. And
exactly.
Like, legit, he's older now. Both of them are just basically make it Logan. Basically, it's old man Peter Parker, and you still have him in Secret Wars and everything like that, but just have it where it's like this is the life that he's living now, and this is going to be our last movie, and it's going to be the best out of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies because everybody's heart is in it. It's going to be all emotional and blah 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 blah, and it's going to resolve everything too, and blah 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 blah. But so Sam Raimi for the Tom Holland Spider-Man 4, nah, I'm not. Like, I'll see it, and like I'm obviously hoping it'll be good, but like he's he wouldn't be my first choice for Spider-Man 4. Because also, it's like, if you're getting Sam Raimi to do that, what is the movie gonna be? Is it gonna be like, what's the tone of the movie gonna be? Who are the
Right.
villains? Because
Yeah.
that, like,
Yeah.
what kind of story is it gonna be? You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
with this new Spider-Man direction that the MCU seems to be going in, it seems like I feel like at the very least it would make sense if it was more street level, more grounded, gritty. Like, I wouldn't mind it if, like, not to go all the way in this direction, but if it had a feel that was akin to the Netflix Daredevil series, again, a little bit more gritty, a little darker stories, because it's just very street level, and he's basically just this little kid, like, all alone living in New York streets, and he's Spider-Man. So it's like, kind of deal with that a little bit, make the stories more like, they'll be smaller in scale, but you can still have them be very emotionally engaging, even though it's not going to be this great grand multiversal story. Like, it can still be a really good one. So, again, like, Drew Goddard, I feel like would maybe handle that a little bit better. Or who else? Not Stephen DeKnight. Low key, I'm gonna just throw this out there. Yeah, whoever worked on the Marvel Netflix Daredevil series, if they did the next Spider-Man movie, season 1 of Marvel, of Netflix Daredevil specifically, if they did Spider-Man 4 and just
That would be
kept it all
cool.
grounded, I feel like
Ugh.
that would be cool. Like, do Spider-Man 4 have them team up with Daredevil, and like the villains are like Scorpion, the Kingpin, and shit like that, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Set up. I guess you can't really set up Sinister Six at this point because I already did the Fatal Five, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
It wasn't even 6. It's like, and y'all set up Venom to be in the universe,
Oh, that
bro.
was,
Y'all really
oh my
dropped the ball on that one.
god. That I love that movie so much, but to me that makes no goddamn sense. Where I was like, "Excuse me," I
Yeah,
was
just
like,
do Sinister Six.
"They said yeet."
And that shit pissed me off too, because I had forgot that he wasn't in the movie until that end credit scene. I was so
Mm-hmm,
fucking pissed. Like, this
mm-hmm.
could have been the greatest end credit scene in the MCU history, but I still would have been pissed because, like, okay, so he was there the whole time, but apparently there's this theory. I don't know if I like showed you, if I shared it with you, but someone pointed out, I think when Eddie Brock Venom gets transported to the MCU universe, it wasn't because of Doctor Strange. I think someone pointed out, like, the light effect was different, or like he had arrived in the MCU at some point before he did the spell. And the dude that pointed out was like
Oh yeah.
like the news footage that Venom sees in his end credit scene, that was very likely just right after that news had broke, like maybe within the same week. So it is kind of interesting. Like, so if he did come over to the MCU before Doctor Strange did the spell, it's like, why and how?
Yeah,
And he
that's
was,
still,
because
yeah.
he was even talking about, like the Venom symbiote was like, he said something about like I think multiversal knowledge or something like that. Like, all
Oh, yeah, we've
symbiotes have it or
seen like
something.
light years of knowledge
Yeah,
and experience, whatever he was saying. Yeah, and that post credit scene of Venom 2. Yeah, that's something that wasn't really explained. It could have been explained a bit better or cleaner, I would say,
yeah.
a bit
Or
cleaner.
maybe they'll do it in part 3, The Last Dance.
I do. I just want to see a good Venom and Spider-Man, like not the Spider-Man 3 show. I want to see like an actual, like, really like
Yeah.
Spider-Man Venom fight a battle.
Have you read the Spectacular Spider-Man comic?
I think I did. Yeah, I think I
Dude,
did.
because I don't know if you read the one with there was like this arc where it was like where Spider-Man was fighting Eddie Brock, and it was, because my mom gave it to me as a kid, like, it was a really good story. It was super super dark. Like, Eddie Brock was like, he was like sick or something like that, and they were treating the Venom symbiote as, it was like a demon. So all
Oh
of the
yes,
artwork was
yes.
very like dark. You seen that, bro?
I
That's
yes,
my
yes.
shit.
That's why Venom's been my favorite villain of Spider-Man, like since that era. Like, I remember that time, like, 'cause I remember the time Spider-Man 3 was coming out, that I wanted to read the comic books. I went to like the borders of books, Barnes and Noble. I read like the comic books, whatever. I was reading this Venom versus Spider-Man because I was so
Mhm.
obsessed with that character, that villain. Like, it's so cool. Like, oh my god, this is like so, like, he's the anti-Spider-Man. And yeah, Last Dance coming out like October, so we got a couple months
Okay.
until that comes out. Then obviously we'll see that day one. But so I mean, I really hope. But to your point earlier, I kind of want to see like a street level Spider-Man. Like, give him a
Yeah.
break from like the spectacle of everything. Like, give me more of like the kind of like Homecoming vibe, but like maybe a little bit grittier, like a Daredevil kind of thing of like, hey, he's in college now, he's looking for a job, he's on the verge of bankruptcy, both morally and financially. Make him like really kind of like prove himself once again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in terms of like, I guess in terms of like directing, the names that kind of interest me is John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein, just because they wrote the first script of Homecoming. Because
Okay.
Marvel hired them to write the story of the treatment, and then they partnered with John Watts and John Watts' partner, because they had like 8 writers on Homecoming, which is crazy. Went from 8 writers at Homecoming to 2 on Far From Home and 2 on No Way Home. But they had a huge writing staff for Homecoming,
Yeah.
and the first 2 guys that kind of like wrote the whole draft and the treatment were John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein. And to me, that was kind of cool, because I think the writing of that first one is really witty. It's really charming, it's really witty. So I could definitely see them doing it. But I think
Mm-hmm.
to your point, you see all the time too, is that get someone who's like a fan of the friend, get someone like, to your
Yeah.
point, a fan of the story, fan of the character. But like, to your point, someone who knows like the grittiness of the two, like someone who knows like the Venom's comic book, someone who knows kind of like the Scorpion like storyline. Like, get someone. Obviously, Sam Raimi, he's a obviously veteran director. He's a legend.
Mm-hmm.
But I think bringing in some like a younger new blood would be the best option. But again, you got to get someone that like knows the comic, knows the story, knows the lore, and someone has like a personal connection to it. Because again, if you're gonna hire like someone that doesn't really care about the story, again, Justin Lin, who I love, great filmmaker, but do I know that he's a Spider-Man fan? No. So like, you gotta like, he has to like prove to me like, I want to do this, I want to do that. Because a lot of that time too, when people say, yeah, like I love the superhero, but it's like, do you though, or is it more of a PR thing? Is it more of like a publicist thing?
Yeah,
Like,
you love that check. You love the check that's gonna come with the
r-
superhero movie.
right?
What did Michael Caine say?
I
I
didn't see.
didn't see I
Go
didn't
ahead.
see Jaws 2, but I saw the house that Jaws 2 built.
Legend,
Yeah, like, and
legend.
that's not the type. That's not the type of director I want directing. Like low-key any type of movie, but especially these comic book movies, man. Like for real. Like
Well said. Well
if you're
said.
gonna work on a project like this, especially a big franchise
Well said.
project, like bro, you gotta get someone who actually cares. To your
Well
point,
said.
Doug, you gotta get someone who's actually, again, emotionally invested in this.
You got to get someone invested. You got to get someone who's really like, hey, I'm with this. Like, Spider-Man is my life. Like, again, I know you're a diehard Superman fan, and I think
Hell
I
yeah.
think I think James Gunn has proven like how much Superman means to him, and I hope that translates well on screen. I really hope for you.
So do
I,
I, man.
if not, we're gonna burn that motherfucker
Bro.
down.
on Atlanta, in the first season when he gave him with Paperboy and Lakeith Steinfeld, they were in the restaurant, he gave him like the
Oh, the
lemon
Pulp
pepper
Fiction
wings.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's like, man, if you don't do this, I don't know what I'll do. And he just stared at
That's a
him,
great
and they were
line.
like,
Oh my god, that's
that's
a great
real.
line.
I was texting someone that I was like, man, if James Gunn doesn't do right by this Superman movie, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Cause bro,
And
like we
again,
need a good Superman movie, man. Cause people is acting like Man of Steel is kind of
we
whack.
need to, dude. We need to get a good Superman. We need to get a good Spider-Man. We got a new generation of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
We can't get people to be like, yeah, cool for the check. No, you gotta get it for like, because you care about these stories. You care about. It's why Jon Favreau was so good with Star Wars, because he cared about Star Wars. He cared about Star Wars. Why Ryan Coogler cared about Black Panther. He knew the character, how much it meant to him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta get people that really connect to these characters, because again, it'll show like, again, I'm so bummed that Edgar Wright walked away from Ant-Man. I understand his reasoning, but
Yeah.
like, he talked about how much Ant-Man meant to him, like that was his character from the comic books. And so you got to get people, who really know these characters, because that will translate super well on screen, and that will attract fans, new audiences, new moviegoers. Like someone like, yeah, I'm a big Spider-Man fan, but I'll watch it. You might get a new fan out of that if you get to hire the right people to
Mm-hmm.
really bring these characters larger than life back to the screen. So I'm curious. I think they're trying to fast track Spider-Man 4. I personally wouldn't. I would wait for the right script to come through.
Yeah. Don't rush that shit, bro.
because we don't have any writers on board yet. We don't have any producers on board yet, because except for Feige, of course, and then Sony and Marvel are still sharing him for one more movie. So, and another thing too, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony goes, hey, guess what? We're taking him out again. Because remember that whole controversy a couple years ago when they said, yeah, fuck y'all, we're out. Like, he's ours. This is my hat. Like, so I wouldn't be surprised if Sony was like, hey, you know what? We don't need y'all anymore. MCU, deuces, we out. And it wouldn't surprise me. I would hope they re-up their deal soon, that they're going to come to an agreement again or keep the same deal that they're going on. But but to top this, I don't think Sam Raimi's the right guy. Again, to your point.
Yeah, I'm not like. It's like I'm kind of like I get excited because I hear Sam Raimi and Spider-Man, but it's
iconic.
Like, it's not really. It's not the same Spider-Man though. So it's
no,
like, why would you even get him? Like, don't just do a Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness thing again, where it's we just kind of hired him to do this movie, but really it's not really his movie. Don't do that.
No, and I don't do that. Obviously, John Watts is now John Watts is doing other things. I get it. Mark Webb, obviously, he wants nothing to do with the Spider-Man anymore. So you gotta, if you're gonna bring in someone new, you gotta get someone. You gotta get someone that just knows his friend, knows his character more than anyone, or knows just ins and out. Like, hey, listen, here's my pitch. Like, when you know a director or a writer has a pitch that like really wins over executives, the studio, you know that, hey, the pitch must have been good because they're making another movie like this. So I really do hope that they're gonna find someone. Sam Raimi, like I said, in a perfect world, to your point, Nick, do a Logan style esque Spider-Man with Sam Raimi with Tobey Maguire. Just like I'll be a perfect send off to that character and that story of that Spider-Man, because that's more fitting than bringing him into this.
Yeah,
it just is.
Dope. And I'll even throw this out there because you had mentioned, I believe, Jon Favreau's name earlier.
Yeah, on the list.
I wouldn't be mad at him doing Spider-Man 4. But like, again, to your point, when you hire this director to make the movie, like, give them as much time as they need to make it, because that was why Iron Man was so good.
Yep.
But that's inversely, that's why Iron Man 2 was as whack, because they had to they rushed and they had to force all this shit in. With the first Iron Man movie, it's not like they were necessarily, I think, 100% given free reign, but
hell no.
Yeah, but it was like, you know, they had 3 years to make it, but with Iron Man 2 they had to make it in 2 years, and they had to do more shit with it, because now it's like, now we're really trying to push for the MCU now it's like really all that setup. So like, low-key, I feel like Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie, was kind of like proof of concept, and then Iron Man 2 was like, this is the actual start of the MCU. Because like,
absolutely,
again, like and like tonally they were just different again. So it's like, yeah, like Iron Man 2 was the real Iron Man 1.
It's that's so well said, man. It is totally a proof of concept, the first one. And I think, to your point too, is that, look at again, no offense to the writer, I'm not trying to shit on Justin Theroux, but like, Justin Theroux kind of just got hired to do Iron Man 2 kind of randomly, because
I couldn't believe, I was like, Justin Theroux wrote Iron Man 2, the dude from Charlie's Angels Part 2.
It's weird. Like, okay, why I'm like, wait, how? Like, what now? Again, I don't want to shit on the guy, because he wrote Tropic Thunder, which is one of the best comedies of all time. So I don't want to. He co-wrote it with
friends with Downey Jr.
He must have been, or Favreau. Like, he must have been. Again, I don't want to shit on Justin Theroux, but it's like, that's a very random like writer for Iron Man. And obviously now that has changed now with the MCU. They really hire like an extensive writing team or whatever, or certain filmmakers. So it's not kind of random, not as random anymore. But that's why I think, to your point too, they'll probably delay this as much as they can until they find
they got to get it right.
Another thing too, if you're going to hire, I think what John Watts had a lot to say in the scripts for the last two movies as well. He wrote the first one. I think, an ideally perfect world, you get something like a Ryan Coogler or a James Gunn that writes and directs this, because I feel like obviously the director has a lot of say in a Marvel movie, a big budget movie like this. So I'm not saying they don't, but I think you definitely see a certain way of like how when the director writes and directs their movie, there's nothing more like not leeway, but like definitely tell like there's a lot of like they want to say with this, because when
Mm-hmm.
you're a hired hand as a director and not writing it, it's sometimes different. But I do think having a writer director combo might sell the movie even better.
Yeah.
That this is my script, this is why I wrote about
That's
it.
interesting.
I collaborate because I think why Deadpool 3 is so good too, because Deadpool in general, because Ryan Reynolds produces it, he writes it, and I think him and Sean Levy and his co-writers from the first two movies wrote this one together. So it's like cool. You have people that know this character very well. Let's just write it, and the director will also have a say in it too, because he's going to be kind of taking this and running with it. So again, could be kind of just going, could be speculating, but I kind
Mm-hmm.
of think that like maybe just maybe there's gonna be like a writer director kind of like on board, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Speaking of writer directors, one of the most iconic filmmakers of our generation, of our time, I would say, is Quentin Tarantino, the guy behind hits like Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill, Django Unchained, Hateful Eight, on and on and on. Let's go on. Glorious Bastards. So this movie, the Movie Critic, was announced a year ago. I think you and I covered it on the podcast a year ago. Actually, I think you, me, and Joe covered it a year ago when it was announced, like February or March of last year. Like, oh, this would be cool, and it was very, as he does, Tarantino, like Christopher Nolan and other filmmakers. They write. They actually like typewriter, like their script, whatever. It's very old school, like pen and feather Harry Potter style script.
Yeah.
So they're very secretive with their work. Like, you don't really know until it comes out what the movie's going to be about. And he's very secretive with his story, obviously, because I remember Hateful Eight got leaked a couple years ago, and he was like, "I'm not going to do it." And then they're like, "No, you should do it." Like, "Okay, I'll do it." Then all the support he got from his cast and fans. So the Movie Critic, what I heard from reports was that it was supposed to be like something like set in the 70s, like a film critic that kind of was like very brutal with his reviews,
Mm-hmm.
and but it was kind of like a taxi driver kind of thing, where it was like also kind of like a vigilante at night kind of thing.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, it's kind of cool. I like that kind of pitch. And there was rumors that it was going to be Brad Pitt was attached to it, as well as Tom Cruise. And
Oh
then the last
wow.
thing I heard was it's going to be a Pulp Fiction reunion. They're going to bring back Sam Jackson, Travolta, and Uma Thurman were in talks to come back too. So I'm like, ooh, I kind of like that. And it was kind of like bringing back people that he could still use from his other movies. Obviously, you got to use Sam Jackson. You got to use Sam
You
Jackson because
gotta.
he's got it.
It wouldn't be right without.
Absolutely. You got to bring Brad Pitt back. You got to bring like some of the people he's worked with before. And then I think Paul Walter Hauser was announced to be in the lead, or one of the leads of the movie as well. And then it was announced that they're going to start filming in August of this year, August and October, and then take a hiatus and start filming in January because of the LA tax incentive with the filming, whatever. It's a whole thing. So then yesterday announced last night, nope, he's done. I'm not doing this movie anymore. And it's like, wait, bro, what? Because as we all know, this is his quote unquote 10th and last movie. I don't believe that personally. I think he might do more. Do you agree?
Hold up. Sorry. I heard that. I did not hear that. I heard that this wasn't actually. I heard that he was like considering another movie. Like I
Really?
thought it was in addition to this. That's what I thought I heard. Hang on a second.
Man, I must have heard, damn, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, because I heard it was like originally this was going to be his last movie, but then he just changed his mind and he's considering which sequel he's going to do after that.
Really interesting.
I
Interesting.
Unless I just misunderstood what he said. If you want to, yeah, because I think it's from Deadline. Quentin Tarantino has decided that the Movie Critic will no longer be his final film and has abandoned the idea. He is
Entirely.
now reconsidering what his final film could be. Like reconsidering the idea of this being his
Interesting.
last film, or reconsidering the whole Movie Critic.
So what I read is that he's scrapping this entirely. He's walking away from it.
Okay, yeah, okay. So maybe I just misunderstood what that meant.
No,
But
I
okay,
believe that.
okay.
I'd believe that because I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense too. Because I feel like there was so much hype behind this movie. It is kind of weird for. I mean, it's not unheard of. I think with the Hateful Eight, he almost walked away because the script got leaked because of the Sony hack because of because of the interview because of North Korea.
That was crazy.
It's
I did not
crazy.
think they were going to survive that movie. I was like, bro, this is a very dangerous time to be doing that. Seth
I,
Rogen and James Franco.
I tell you what, I'm jealous that I wasn't in Arizona at that year because Chicago did not play that movie anywhere. But in Phoenix they did, and I was like, lucky fucks. We didn't get it unfortunately. Uh, but so yeah, so it's not unheard of that like he kind of has a change of heart. But I feel like there was so much hype around this movie even before like it was announced. Like when it was like still in development and like who was getting attached. I'm like, think about it too. You got Sam Jackson, you got John Travolta, you got Uma
Hmm.
Thurman, you got Brad Pitt, you got fucking Tom Cruise. Like that's an iconic cast, and obviously people probably join more and more. And that apparently too that Brad Pitt was supposed to be playing Cliff Booth again,
Hmm.
and I was like, fuck off! Like I want to see what happens after he fucking murked those spoilers, murked those fucking Manson kids and
Hell yeah.
Hollywood. I was like, I want to see what happens next. So I'm gonna ask you this, Nick. Do you think that okay? I'm gonna ask you this. Assuming why do you think he scrapped this movie, and also do you think there's a chance it might come back into the discussion that it might actually happen?
I don't know because I've never the concept of Quentin Tarantino scrapping this is just it's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around because he doesn't seem like that type of
Right,
director. Like he's not like one of those directors that's like every couple of years he's making a movie. Like
right.
it's like he makes a movie like every however long it
It's been a
takes him
while.
to, but like only after he's like perfected it. So I don't know if maybe he just kind of I don't know if it's like an Alex Garland situation where he's like I kind of just fell out of love with this particular project
Right.
that I'm working on. So let me figure something else out. But yeah, I don't know. That's very curious to me.
It's interesting. It's definitely
Yeah.
interesting.
Cause it's why did you wanna why'd you want to leave the project, I wonder? Or to
I
abandon it as that
yeah,
article I read said.
I feel like all that time spent on developing it and like hey like all the hype it was building, all that free press he was having that like this person might join, this person might join, you might bring back a Pulp Fiction reunion. Like that's so cool. What I hope too, bro. What I really hope is that he continues with that kind of like bringing it back to like modern day. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't want to see another western. I don't want to see another like
Yeah.
1800s movie. Like I love Django Unchained. And Hateful Eight's really good too. But like I want to see him do like a kind of like a Pulp Fiction s kind of thing, like set in like modern day, bringing back Sam Jackson,
Hmm.
bringing back like Uma Thurman and some of his like iconic cast members, like bring him back because I think like if he will again, if he this is a big if too, if he does do one more last movie, you gotta like go out with a bang. Literally, you gotta get something
Yeah.
crazy, like do like a do what made you. I would go back to my roots in a way of like, hey, do something like a Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction of like just go like balls to the wall, crazy, like not controversial, but just like, oh shit, like QT
Just
did
but
this,
like
like
full out though.
full
I
out, bro,
I want
like
to
full
see
out.
I want to see Quentin Tarantino Endgame the movie. Gosh
Right.
dang it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I think I might believe that maybe to your point too, that like maybe that he didn't think that it was worthy of it being his last movie. Maybe like, hey, you know what? If we do one more, I'm gonna legit do my end game of end games. Like, this is it. This is it.
Hmm.
I'm going balls to the wall, bonkers, like Pulp Fiction, Glorious Bastards, like Reservoir Dogs, insane. And I just feel like I think we're all kind of missing him back in that era of like that kind of like again, even though Hollywood was definitely like close going back to like more modern society, quote unquote, it still wasn't as like Pulp Fiction or Jackie Brown or Reservoir Dogs kind of like all modern or Kill Bill modern day kind of thing. So I really do hope that like he still does that, but to your point, it is very surprising that he would abandon something like out of the blue,
Yeah.
like all this hype going around it, and then we about to be in production in like 4 months. You go, nah, I'm good. See y'all later.
He's like, yeah, I'm just not doing it anymore.
I'm not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I think
Yeah.
I think that he might be saying, you know what, I got something else in mind I'm going to do. It's going to be way better. And yeah, I trust Tarantino has obviously earned that kind of right to be like, just watch what I'm going to do next.
You know what would be crazy?
What's that?
You know what would be fucking balls to the wall,
Yeah.
bonkers? Nobody would see this coming at all.
Ooh, what is it? I'm
If
intrigued.
like his last movie, right? He's like, you know what? I'm not doing the film critic or the movie critic. I'm not doing
Yeah.
that anymore. It's like, well, damn, what's it gonna be? And it's like he just disappears completely. Like no one's seen him in years, no one's heard from him, and it's
Mhm.
like, what the fuck? What the hell happened to Quentin Tarantino? And then we're all just kind of chilling, living our lives, and we're watching in IMAX theaters, like full
Woo.
screen Avengers Secret Wars, and the whole like however long
Oh
it
my
is movie
god.
plays, and then in the credits it says directed by Quentin
Oh
Tarantino.
my lord. Bro, that would be crazy.
Man, that would break
Bro,
the internet. That would be like the most insane plot twist of them all.
do you remember remember that do you remember that SpongeBob episode where they're training for like the Super Bowl, and they go, all right, one and a two, and they all do it at once and the fucking like place like explodes.
Yeah.
That's what it
Bro.
like that would be it. Like every Dolby, every IMAX, like,
No,
you
that would
know,
be insane.
never say never, but to your point though, I could definitely see him just kind of going MIA for a fat minute and then
Yeah.
comes back with a movie already done. Like done in secret, like we had no idea this was happening.
That would
Like
be dope. I would really like that.
like
It just releases in theaters, but like it's this kind of like what's it called? Like a phantom release or something?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like it's just like this, like, oh, what movie is that? I didn't hear about that. And then like people see it, and it's like, holy shit, that's a new Quentin Tarantino movie. And it spreads to like word of mouth or some shit.
Yeah, something crazy, dude. Just like unexpected, crazy, viral, just like
Hmm.
absurd. Like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I
Yes,
don't know.
indeed.
Something like really like out of the blue. You're just like, whoa, like I did not see that coming. But
Yeah,
I don't know, man. That it would be crazy. But again, never seen that. You never know with them. You never know
that
with
yeah,
them. All I ask that you have some of your OGs back, except Sam Jackson, Brad Pitt, Uma Thurman, uh, whoever. Just make something like legit, like another Pulp Fiction esque of this generation. That would be
yeah.
crazy. But you never know.
I would
You
like
never
to
know,
see a Quentin Tarantino horror movie.
dude. That would be, yeah. Because I feel
That
like
would
Death
be
Proof isn't really
interesting.
a horror movie. Yeah, that would be cool.
Damn, I haven't seen Death Proof yet.
Okay, we gotta watch that too one day. We gotta come with the crib and watch
Bet.
that. It's honestly,
What?
I watched all his movies during during lockdown because I was like, I'm kind of bored.
Yeah.
It's good. I think you would like it a lot because it's grindhouse obviously, and there's
Mm,
some like horror elements to it, but
okay.
not necessary. It's people call it a horror movie. I don't really call it a horror movie. I mean, there's some horror elements to it, but like
Uh-huh.
that's as close as we got to a horror movie with him so far. But I
Okay.
do like him in a horror movie. Kind of like really kind of like some kind of just like grisly, kind of just like like oh shit, like some like out of pocket, like whoa, what's going on
Oh,
here? It's
just like
crazy, it's
some
gnarly.
violent shit.
Yeah, dude. Like, because again,
Ah.
we got a little tease of that obviously in Hollywood with like the ending, but like nothing on like
No, that
nothing
shit was
on
insane. I was like, God damn.
God damn, like, but not as like Django Unchained, like violent or like Reservoir,
Mhm.
not like Pulp Fiction, like or Inglorious Bastard. That ending, Inglorious Bastards is absurd with the scene in
Yeah, that was
the
crazy.
theater, something like that. But you never know. And you know what? Speaking of Inglorious Bastards, let's talk about our review of the week, my friend. It is Guy Ritchie's The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which is very Inglorious Bastards inspired to a degree, which is again we didn't know it was kind of based on a true story until
Yeah.
we saw. We're like, oh shit, it's a true story. Let's get into our review of the week. Let me pull up my little notes because I'm very eager to review this one.
No, yeah,
Oh,
this movie was dope.
movie was dope. All right, here we go. The British military recruits a small group of highly skilled soldiers to strike against German forces behind enemy lines during World War II. So it's all done by the great Guy Ritchie. Stuff from like Sherlock Holmes, Snatch, Long Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, The Gentleman, Wrath of Man, The Covenant. I mean, King Arthur, unfortunately, that I think is underrated a little bit. That's not terrible. It's not a terrible movie, but people are a little harsh to that movie.
It was cool.
It was cool. Your boys in it. Jaimon Hansu's in it.
Hell yeah. They need to put him in a lot more movies. I'm happy he's in a Zack Snyder movie, Rebel Moon.
He's been working for so long. This man deserves the credit. He deserves the credit and the attention.
James Gunn cast him as Martian Manhunter.
Dude,
he would have been a dope Black Panther.
Manifest
I wanted him to be Black Panther, bro.
That would have been cool. That would have been. I actually that too, because how serious and how focused he is as an actor.
Yeah,
like he
how
really
he is. Because like whenever he's in the room, it's like he's always kind of like the one in charge. Like especially that movie Push with Chris Evans. That's the movie that made me
super underrated.
That was my introduction to Jimon Hansu, if I'm not mistaken. But like, bro, like he was that dude in that movie, man.
And then he was the wizard in Shazam. I was like, oh no.
Oh my god. I was kind of excited because I thought they were gonna like just basically make him like Jimon Hansu, like as a character. I was like, yo, that's gonna be dope. But then like I saw the set photos of him, and it was like, oh hell no, because they just did this basic shit. And then spoiler alert for those of y'all who haven't seen part 2, they just brought him back for the second one, and it was just like, what was the point? But oh, you know what? Maybe he didn't die in the first one then, because I think it was supposed to be like a new timeline. Because originally it was supposed to come out after The Flash.
That's right. Yes, you're right.
Okay, that makes sense. Because at first I was, unless I'm missing something, but I like in the trailer again, it was like, what the hell did y'all bring him back for?
Brought him back for this?
For real, like this? What a waste. I was like, everything they did in that movie, oh my god.
How dare you?
How could you possibly? Like, I don't even understand this.
I'm hyped to go.
He made was the wrong one.
What's the line from The Office where he goes, why are they the way that you are?
Yeah, he's like, why are you the way that
you are? I hate the things you choose to be. It's such a good line. I'm looking forward to seeing him in A Quiet Place prequel, because he was in part 2. So I'm definitely looking forward to see how they kind of connect his character with that prequel. But anyway, we're talking about the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Again, directed by the great Guy Ritchie. Well, I think it's been kind of like a roll right now with a lot of his movies. But Nick, my friend,
it seems like it, yeah.
It
kind of keeps coming out with like hit after hit after hit. It seems like
this man's pushing them out, man. This man's like, I got one in the tank for you. All right, keep them coming. Yeah. Let's go. All right, my friend, what are your thoughts about this movie overall?
Overall, I enjoyed this movie very, very much. I said this in our out of theater reaction. Just the chemistry that the whole cast had with each other. It was very fun to watch, and it was just like all these crazy like it was based on a true story, but basically all these like kind of crazy characters just interacting and like seeing how they went through the mission and everything like that, and just kind of like how they conducted themselves was really fun. The action and the fight scenes were, I think, really well choreographed. Fun to watch. They definitely didn't hold back with some of those scenes. I like that.
Yeah, dude, for real.
Yeah, and I love Guy Ritchie as a director. The Sherlock Holmes movies kind of introduced me to him, so like that's I just really fuck with his filmmaking. And they got my boy Henry Cavill in it. That's
your boy,
Superman.
bro.
So it was really fun to see him as the lead in another movie, and I could tell he was having fun with the role. And yeah, it was just a great fun movie to watch. And Doug pointed this out like right after the movie ended. He turns where he's like, this is Guy Ritchie's Inglourious Basterds. I was like, that's fucking facts right there. It was such a good point, and it was just man, great movie.
Your response was so funny, because you were like, I said, Glorious Bastards. You were like, yep. Like, you knew right away. You know what I was thinking right away? You're like, yep. You're like,
this is the Guy Ritchie made Inglourious Basterds instead of Quentin Tarantino, basically.
it's really, again, people are like, it's too much of Glorious Bastard. I'm like, that's a bad thing. I'm like, that's a great comparison. I was like, oh, what? Okay,
Yeah,
what
that's
are
some good
y'all talking
shit.
about? Some good shit. You're gonna take it. You're gonna like this shit.
Hell yeah.
You know, to your point too as well. I think this. Well, I thought it's kind of like he's in his element, but this is kind of like a greatest hits of his filmography. You got some Snatch, Gentleman, Sherlock Holmes, Lock, Stock, some others. But like after the reaction, I said like this is a Guy Ritchie movie through and through. It's like the
Mhm.
richest of them all. You would
The
say,
richest.
of them all. Say, and to pick up what you said too, it's Inglorious Bastards mixed with some Kingsman, some Gentlemen, and I stick by this too. It is a touch of National Treasure as well. It's a small touch of National Treasure, and very laughable movies, but they're pretty iconic for our childhood and our upbringing, you would say.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I have all of them to your point too. It's very heavy on the Glorious Bastards, but like it is a bloody, wicked good time. And again, to your point, it's see this in movie in theaters, guys. See it in theaters, see it with the crowd. And again, to an extent, copy what Nick said too, is that it's a great ensemble piece. Like everyone works, their chemistry is electric. It's they feel like a team, and they all play well with each other. Like everyone has really good humor banter between their jokes, whatever. And what I was really commend Guy Ritchie for is that the blend of action and humor. Like he knows how to do action and humor together like very well.
Yeah.
And because you and I have seen movies where like that shit was not funny, or that shit was like kind of funny, but we're laughing with you, no, laughing at you, not with you. Expendables 4.
Yeah. Like
Uh,
you never want your movie to be unintentionally funny.
yeah, again,
That's that's not that's not that's not a good way to do it.
I'm calling you out Expendables franchise.
Yo, oh my god! And what's crazy too is like it's always been kind of a corny franchise,
Yeah.
but after we saw the fourth one, I had seen a clip from the first one where Jason Statham is fighting all those dudes on the basketball
Oh,
court.
so corny.
No, dude, like when like just watching that scene, it was like, yo, this is actually like really fucking good. If I didn't know any better, like had I not seen the first Expendables movie, I would
Yeah.
have assumed this was just one of those other Jason Statham like action drama movies. You feel me? I was like, yo, this is but then
Mechanic.
like I remembered, wait, this was the first Expendables movie. So like that shows you how far the franchise has kind of come. Like this fourth one makes the first one, which we already just knew was a little bit corny, it makes that first one look like a serious movie through and through. Like that is insane.
It really makes it look like fucking like Citizen Kane or The Godfather.
Oh
It
my
really
god, bro.
it really does. And so that's why I was like with this, it's just like it's a team up movie, but with this movie of Gentlemen is that like it's it's not too heavy on either. It's a good blend of both. I think Guy
Yeah.
Ritchie, I think Matthew Vaughn are examples of like how to really manage action and comedy very well. Also, you and I will definitely stand by our love for Argyle. We all thought
Yup.
that Argyle mixed action and comedy extremely well. Um, and I'm kind of glad now that on Apple TV Plus that it's number one trending movie the past week and a half. So as it should,
Hell
but
yeah. That movie
y'all
was
should.
dope.
But that movie should have done better in the theaters. I'm pointing at y'all. Y'all should have gone and support that movie in theaters. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We told y'all.
Let
We
him know,
told
Doug.
y'all.
Let him know.
We told y'all. Um, to me, I think the big three standouts, and I might agree with this, Nick, that I thought were Isaac Gonzalez. I'm gonna butcher his name again. Babs Olsua Mokin from Dune. I'm butchering his name, and Alan Richardson. I feel like whenever they were on screen, like they commanded the screen. They were just like they took. They were like that was like their scene. That was their role.
Mhm.
I feel like they stole the show for the most part. I think Babs is really becoming a household, but like kind of like, hey, look out for that guy with like Dune Part Two.
Yeah, because I didn't even know that he was. I didn't know that he was going to be in this movie, and I definitely didn't know that he was going to be in part two.
Yeah,
That surprised me, but yeah, because he did his thing in this movie, and I'm like, I really want to see him in a lot more things.
yeah, he does his thing, and he's a very good actor. He's a very good actor, and I saw him in something else too. Oh yeah, he was in Wrath of Man, which is also a very underrated Guy Ritchie movie. Came
Hmm.
out 2021 with speaking of Statham. Um, And what was he was in the Black Mirror episode I haven't seen yet. There's also
Dang,
in
you know
the
what? He would be a pretty cool Martian Manhunter for the DCU, I think.
his voice is very interesting. His
He is
voice
very
is very
distinct.
like it's very distinct. Yeah, it's very distinct. It's very like kind of like it's like oh like what it's very charming, but also it's very kind of just like commanding too. So I
Hmm.
like that about it. Um, I think what really impressed me a lot with this movie is that besides how well Guy Ritchie was able to balance the humor and action while saying this kind of basically as like a period piece, quote unquote, there's a lot of characters in this. There's a
Yeah.
lot, and like it's a huge team. And then like when they go to like Nigeria, like there's more people to the team now. Like they kept adding people on the way to their
No, yeah, no,
location.
that's a good point. It's a lot of it's a lot of stuff going on, but it never. It feels like, as Thanos said, perfectly balanced as all things should be. Like
Yes.
nothing really kind of like took
Mhm.
over the story. Like nothing got. It never felt too muddled,
Yes.
and it was very
Exactly.
easy to follow
On
along,
the
even though it
nose.
was a lot going on. That's a good point, bro. Damn.
It never felt stale. I was really because I feel like there's a lot of I think when you have a big ensemble piece like this, as we see movies before, like that had huge ensemble pieces, it might kind of feel stale or might kind of feel like, I don't know, that person's not doing whatever. Guy Ritchie and his co-writers do a great job of giving everyone their moment to shine.
Yeah.
Like it's hard. We're writers ourselves. It's hard to write a screenplay, but like horror screenplay in general, but also to write screenplay with like so many different characters and different people and different backgrounds and different characteristics, whatever. But like he's able to make everyone feel important and crucial to the story. Henry Cavill has his moment. Al Richardson has his moment. Isa has her moment. Babs has his moment. Henry Golding has his moment. Hero has his moment. Danny Spani, who plays like the royalty at the end, also a badass, has his moment. And we meet him later on in the movie. We have seen a lot of filmmakers have ensemble cast do not balance their cast well, but I think Guy did a great job kind of making everyone feel relevant and making everyone feel kind of like special to their story and their own shining moments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, to your point, Henry Cavill, man, Henry Cavill was just fun to watch. He's having so much fun with this role, and I think you're talking. Us two are big Henry Cavill fans, and I do think that like it's so good seeing him kind of bounce back from basically getting fired as Superman. Let's be real, he got
Yeah.
fired, he got screwed over,
Yeah.
because he's taking roles like this and Argyle, like he's having so much fun, and you can tell he's enjoying being part of like these big ensemble pieces
Yeah.
because he really works well off of like others. I thought he worked great in Mission Impossible, obviously.
Oh
He worked
my
great in
gosh. Yeah.
Argyle. Like
I
he
could,
like
after seeing him in this, I could see him as Wolverine now.
I can see it too. I mean, that motherfucker is built.
He's
He
fucking
is
huge. He has the whole
built.
like beard thing, and he even like
His
had a
mustache.
couple of cigars too in the
Yeah.
movie. I'm like, I could see him as Wolverine.
Uh, I love his little twirling mustache was really funny too.
That
Like
was
that
really
little
funny.
the little twirl. It's
And that
definitely
crazy ass beard too. And it's
a
like, man,
crazy beard, dude. Oh, I definitely feel like we haven't seen him in a role like this or like quite a while. Like he's just having fun.
yeah,
He's just having fun. You can tell that this, even his flat top in Argyle, like he's having so much fun. Like it's cool to see him kind of bounce back from this after basically being humiliated by WB for
I know,
Superman.
bro. After that Black Adam end credit scene, oh my gosh.
And he was told they say, "Hey, announce your comeback. I'm back, guys. I'm back in the Cape." Week later, nah, sorry, I'm being fired.
Because I
Like
think
that's
what was going on when I think Dwayne Johnson was basically trying to take over DC. I think he was trying to be the DC Kevin
he
Feige.
should.
Like that could have been cool for like a few different reasons, but and like I am gonna miss Henry Cavill as Superman because he never like really got
Yeah,
his shot like that. Like Man of Steel
I
was
agree.
dope, but it was kind of like I could tell he wanted to do hit like a more comic accurate, I suppose, version of Superman, like not necessarily Zack Snyder's Superman. I think there might have been a little bit of not like friction there, but like Snyder was like, I kind of want to do like a not like a darker Superman, but like a more grounded one. I think Henry Cavill wanted to do something a little bit more like lighthearted, shall we say? But
Yeah, like Christopher Reeve almost.
yeah, Christopher Reeve, maybe even like a little bit of like All Star Super, because I think he
Oh
mentioned,
yeah, I can see that.
yeah, like that would have been dope. Damn, oh, because dude, All Star, that's
Uh,
probably my favorite Superman comic.
in a perfect world, man. In the multiverse, he's still our
Bro.
he's still our Superman.
Yeah, and
Uh,
it's like fuck, like I am gonna miss him as Superman, but I am excited to see what James Gunn does with the DCU. Like I am
Oh
excited to see
yeah,
David Cornsweet as Superman too.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
I got hope. We got
yeah.
hope. We got hope. But like I
Have
said,
Henry
it's
Cavill be a Jor-El. Fuck it.
dude, that would be fun. That would, dude, he has a facial hair for it. I mean, he can do it. He can
Yeah.
pull it off.
And he looks like David Cornsweet apparently, so it would just kind of make sense, and then
Yeah.
you could have him like come back.
How ironic is that, right?
Yeah,
How ironic is that? I don't think too. Who I'm really impressed with was Isa Gonzalez. I think she's proven herself to be a good actress. And I remember when we saw her in Baby Driver the first time in college. We're like, oh, who's this girl? And she's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
definitely proving herself, minus her being in Bloodshot.
damn. No, I
Shot
say Baby
thrown.
Bloodshot another shot, man. I do kind of
I
feel like I'm
should.
not gonna get into
I,
that, but
I should. I probably should.
yeah,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
yeah, but it did kind of just sizzle out though. I will say
Yeah,
that.
yeah. But the thing about her though is that she can really hold her own with these movies like this,
Yeah.
even in Bloodsport and Baby Driver. That like she can make such an impression when she worked with the ensemble cast. Like I really hope that Guy Ritchie keeps working with her, Henry Cavill in the future, because I feel like he knows how to get like really like fun and like awesome performances out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
So a movie that you gave an F to,
I hate this movie so much. For those of you who don't know, it's my least favorite movie ever.
Bro, this movie is what The King's Man should have been.
Damn. Yup.
I still enjoy King's Man. I do.
It was dope, but it was kind of like I think like the last like fourth or third of it, like it just kind of again like fizzled out. Like it was like
Yeah, it like okay, this is it. Like it felt very lackluster
yeah.
to be safe. And I did like again watching it. I'm like, hey, this is World War II. I mean, I know King's Man was like World War I, and I appreciate that. But like watching this, I was kind of like, this should have been what the King's Man could have been, because I think the King's Man was like trying to mimic too much on Kingsman 1 and Kingsman 2, and then like trying to do its own new thing at the same time. Like should just balance the action and comedy the way that this movie did, how Guy did it. 'Cause I feel like King's Man was kind of just like had a fucking like the identity crisis of like, what should we be? I don't know, you tell me. It's like, well, you're the movie. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's not like a spoiler because it's in the trailer. I liked how they incorporated Winston Churchill into this, because I feel like we've only seen him in like super serious historical drama movies, but like he's kind of like almost like a World War II British Nick Fury in this. In a way.
I was kind of thinking that too.
I was like, that's
he was
kinda
really
cool.
just like he definitely didn't like overstay his welcome, so to speak. Like he was just kind of like in it as much as he needed to be.
Exactly.
You feel me? So it's like but he basically was though. Yeah, that's funny that you say that.
It's at the end I was like, okay, basically kind of Nick Fury with like how like they told the true story of everything.
Yeah.
But it was cool that I liked how Guy Ritchie kind of incorporated into the story. But to your point too, that like he wasn't in it too much, he wasn't in too less. It was like the perfect amount of screen time for him to like have an interaction with the ministry and stuff like that. Walking out of the theater with you, I thought that it was good seeing Alex Pettyfer back into in a role. I feel like, wow. At first, I was like, when I saw him on the screen, you probably heard me. I was like, "Oh shit, look what it is!" I was like, "Oh," because I've seen the movie in a long time, and I was like, "Oh, he's in this."
I haven't seen him since Beastly or something.
Yeah, and how like you said about Babs, I didn't know Babs was in this. I didn't know that Alex was in this. And I was like, "Oh, good for him," because I haven't seen a movie in a long time. And I think to your point, what you said too, that we were walking out of the theater, I was like, "You said Beastly," and I was like, "I think you're right," and it's kind of like. It's that kind of thing to talk about Wago on the show, is that oversaturation of actors in Hollywood. I think, no offense, I think Pedro Pascal's have oversaturation of roles right now. I think Kevin Hart had that time period. I think Melissa McCarthy had the same issue where it's just like, he's like, hey, look, he's in everything, every show. Pick your roles wisely, spread them apart. Like pick your roles. Like I think. Tiffany Haddish too, who's really funny. Tiffany Haddish, the same thing. She was like in everything after Keanu and Girls Trip. Yeah. You got to pick your roles.
Especially after wisely. Girls Trip, bro. That was the first movie I'd seen her in, and it seemed like that movie kind of like that was like her Iron Man, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. It was, and rightfully so, because she was hilarious in that. But it's an oversaturation of actors where it's like, hey, take a step back, take a break. But to your point too, talk about it at the screening as well, is that it's very typical Hollywood where they go, look at this young actor. He's your next movie star, and the audience went,
Yeah.
no, thank you. Like Sam Worthington had that issue.
Oof.
Jai Courtney had that issue. Joel Kinnaman had the issue. I'm trying to think who else I can think of where it was like, look,
Yeah,
next big actor.
I'm trying to think too. I can't think of any. I think
I'm trying.
maybe you got them all.
It's like it was a time. It was just like, oh, look, he's your next big actor, and the audience goes, no, thank you. We don't want that. Like, no, thank you. And I do think that Alex Pettyfer had the same thing where he was just like, he was doing movies after movie. Like to your point, he had Iron Number 4, Beastly, In Time, and then Magic Mike all in the same year. That's a lot of movies. I mean, good for him. Probably got a nice check. Probably got a check. Yeah, he got paid.
I
He got paid.
wonder if it was just like not so much that he keeps getting casted in movies, or if it was more so like just the movies that he's in are just not that well received.
That too.
Because I don't really
Good point.
remember I don't remember Beastly being like a huge hit necessarily.
It wasn't.
Like, or I Am Number 4, because I kind of came out around like Divergent, like those you pointed out in the theater, those young adult movie adaptations. I liked I Am Number 4. It was cool. It seemed like it was trying to set up a franchise, and
it did not.
Yeah, like it's kind of, that's one of those movies where I'm like, it's cool for what it is, but not like nostalgic, but I guess a little bit nostalgic for that time, low key.
It's very like late 2000s, early 2010s, like how like coming of age.
Tell what year this came out when you watch it.
Yeah, who's a part of that? Oh, right, DJ Caruso, bro. Oh my god, DJ Caruso directed that. Yeah, Disturbia. He did Eagle Eye, Triple X.
I've seen all those movies. Oh my
god. I fucking love Disturbia. Oh, bro, Michael Bay produced Item Number 4. I always forget that.
Wow. Okay.
Because I remember reading the book. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's interesting. How was it in comparison to the books though?
I remember it was funny. I remember seeing the movie first, I read the book afterwards. I think I always read the first book of the franchise, but like there was a lot of cool stuff that they could have like set up. But again, to your point, that movie did not do well. So someone said this is Twilight with balls.
Damn. Wow. Yeah, it's really just Twilight for dudes. Wow. What an apt description.
This is legit the first review on IMDb. Twilight 6 stars. Twilight with balls. Oh my god.
The internet remains undefeated.
And this movie had a $60 million. Well, hold up now. Had a $60 million budget. It made 55 US with marketing distribution. So you probably paid around 120, give or take. It made $150 million back worldwide, but I guess the studio was like, nah, we good. We're out.
Yeah, we wanted more.
So yeah, they were like, so IMDb said the studio tried making this Twilight for boys, and that did not work. And they were like, well, we tried, and legit, it was that. So that came out in February, Beastly in March, so month to month, back and forth, and then it was
those came out
in time.
Those came out just a couple months apart.
Yeah, dude. February 18th, 2011, I Am Number 4. March 18th, 2011, Beastly.
That is insane. Okay, so there must have been some like oversaturation with that guy. 2 movies.
Yeah, dude.
With 2 movies in 2 months? That's crazy. That's kind of dope though. I like that grind.
Right? Hey, respect. Hey, got that check, man.
Yeah,
got that check. He probably bought a nice little flat in London. He's British. So
I didn't see I Am Number 4, but I saw that was I Am Number 4 built.
I bet she was like, Michael Caine, teach me. Teach me.
Oh my gosh.
And
Michael
then
Caine apprentice.
Right. And then In Time came out in October, a movie that I like a lot. It's about on the podcast 2 weeks ago. But also In Time did not do well. Hold up now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was cool. Like it was I don't. It was cool, but I think it was kind of like missing that like oomph factor. Like
Yes,
like
I
it
agree.
was
I agree.
solid, but I think I don't know something about it was just kind of like something is missing, and it's interesting because I think it's from the same guy that directed Gattaca with Ethan Hawke and Jude Law and
Hmm.
Uma Thurman, and
He wrote Truman Show, my favorite movies of all time.
he really okay. That's
Hmm.
interesting. Okay.
So I think to your point too is that it was that YA era. It was like take it or leave it. You had the Harry Potters that worked. You had the Twilight that worked, and then you get shit like that where it was just like, no, we're good.
Low key though, how did Twilight work? But I'm Number 4 didn't. You gonna tell me Twilight was a
The
better suit than I'm
books,
Number 4?
the books, those fans of the books was again when you have the book supporters. I'm dating one. They're an army, my friend. It's an army of the Twin Towers, or Two Towers. Sorry, army of the Two Towers from Lord of the Rings, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? It's like the Wakandan people in Infinity War. That whole like
Yeah,
army,
you
they'll
know,
show
I
up.
feel you. You Bombay.
They'll show up, man. So
Yeah. And
and then
like
his
they're
last,
a
yeah,
force to be reckoned with.
right. They'll break your kneecaps, man. Like they'll show up. So and then his last movie that he was really a part of was Magic Mike, and then that did pretty well, obviously. And then
Mhm.
The Butler. I remember The Butler like in history class in high school, but
Lee Daniels, the Butler.
yes, sir.
Oh, no, I saw that movie. That was a good one.
Yeah, I remember liking it when I saw it in high school, but I don't know who he played in that, but that was his last big movie. And then he's been kind of like VOD, on demand, on demand. He had a voice in Family Guy 4 years ago. VOD.
Oh,
Oh my
you know
god.
you've made it when you're associated with Family Guy.
Yeah, right. Right. VOD movies, like always kind of like 2B movies and stuff.
Not Tubi.
Eh,
I think they just put the Batman on Tubi.
oh my gosh.
I
You'd be like,
just
yes,
I just seen it there like a
finally,
couple hours ago. I was like,
finally.
take that shit off Tubi.
You don't deserve this. You don't
Yeah.
deserve this.
You don't deserve this Tubi.
You know, it's probably the Batman, probably some like weird like adult film version of it. Let's be real. It's probably some
No,
like
I'm dead. Like the post that'd be wild. I wouldn't put
the
it past
Blob.
Tubi. I know Tubi got some freaky shit on there, but no, it was legit. The Robert Pattinson one.
Wow,
I
they're
was
like,
like, "Are you for real?" And the interesting part was like the description. It said a sadistic vigilante terrorizes Gotham City, and when I saw that, I'm like, "Was this the Tubi description, or did someone like write this and then put it on Tubi?" Because low key, it's like, are they talking about Batman or the Riddler? Because both of them were vigilantes fucking around in Gotham. It's like, wow, what a tagline or what a synopsis. That is kind of dope, though. I'm not gonna lie. If that was Tubi, I'll give you props. Cause that's fucking dope. Cause it's like, which one are you talking about?
it
And
was
in the
probably
movie, there were even two sides of the same coin.
it was probably unpaid. Some probably unpaid intern was like, I got it, guys. I got it. All right, good. What you got? What you got for us?
Dude, I know he was like, this was like his moment. Cause you know, like he's like, you gonna give me that raise and that promotion now, right? He's like, yeah, sure, kid. Just give me that line you wrote. And then they just, to your point, they just fucked him over. He's like, I've been an intern here for 17 years, sir.
Yes. I haven't seen $1. Too damn bad. That's
He's
too
like,
damn
yeah,
bad.
we don't pay the interns. Promote me.
Please help.
I need this. He's like,
so-
I'm a family now.
A family now, please. So anyway, so yeah, VOD, 2B stuff. So I think at the time they're trying to put him like, look, he's kind of he was trying to be like like that generation's like Timothée Chalamet or Austin Butler kind of guy. Like, look at this guy, and unfortunately, it did not work out. But you know what, man, I give a lot of props to Guy Ritchie kind of bring him out of movie jail because I feel like again he was that kind of like that run of just like movies, and it was kind of like no, thank you, see ya, bro. He kind of just fell off the face of the earth. So yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun to watch. I thought he added a lot to the team too. So I kind of hope that we see him in more stuff going forward and not just like VOD movies. Hey, a check is a check, man. A payday is a payday. Gotta respect that. But I do think he had a lot to the story. But it was fun to watch him kind of interact with Henry Cavill and Henry Golding and Babs and everyone. So I respect. That was cool seeing him. The things that I don't know about you, Nick. The things that I kind of had a problem with this. Again, let's like kind of my little critiques here and there. I do feel like the film just felt longer than it should have been, Like, I think
Really?
the first act, like, it was going, like, okay, it was going. The opening scene was awesome on the boat. I was like, oh hell yes, we're going with this. When they did the flashback thing, they go forward, forward, forward. Oh, great. But did you feel at all like during the second act, it was like a big like halting stop?
I can't say I did. I
Okay.
thought the movie flowed pretty well. It didn't really feel like there was a dull moment in the movie for me personally. I had a really good time watching it. Well, yeah, no, it's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, this is more of a nitpick for me. I was kind of, 'cause I was so like I was so on board. I was like, oh hell yeah, let's go. And then that part where it was nighttime. They're on the boat just talking. It kind of felt like it
Mm,
was dragging just a bit because I was like, because of how fast things were going. Like
mhm.
we were on the train, the scene with Isa and Babs, and we see the guys were doing on the boat, whatever. Like it
Yeah.
had a good rhythm to it. Like okay, we're with it. And then I just felt the second act just dragged a bit. And to be fair, I had the same critique with Monkey Man, where like Monkey Man, it was going, 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 and it's like boop, halt to a stop, and it was kind of just like a
Mm,
longer kind of like setup for the third act. But it just to me, I was kind of like, oh, okay, because I've seen that with other Guy Ritchie movies. I think it was not King Arthur. It was something I saw like him recently where I was like, it was kind of like it was going, 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 and then it slowed down, and I feel like it's kind of like a thing that he does with kind of like try to like not over explain, but kind of just like, hey, like take a longer second act to kind of like get you the third act because the payoff is worth it. And to your point, it's definitely worth it in every sense of the way. I just felt like this dragged just slightly in the second act where I was like, ooh, like it was a bit tighter. It would have been like just like, oh, we're going. But again, it's more of a nitpick with being pace, but um it didn't like bother me too much, but it was kind of I got called it out. I was like, I kind of feel like we're kind of like slowing down a little bit when we were on a kind of like full like a bullet train going and how the pace was going.
mhm.
Um, I do think so. This has made this me my stupid ass. I could I'll take credit for that. I'll take this L if I have to. I
Okay.
except for Henry's character's name, Isa's name, and Babs's name. I did remember a lot of the characters' names. Like I don't remember like Henry Golding's name or
Mm.
Alan's name.
Yeah, I'm not
And
gonna lie, bro. I only remember Henry Cavill's character's name because
yeah,
when they were like showing them like at the end where it was like the real life pictures and it was like
yeah.
this is what this one did afterwards. This is what this one did afterwards. I was like, damn, I have no idea which one is which.
Right, right. I was like, I
I'm
was
like,
sweating. I was
bro.
like, it
Because
was
I
like
was
taking an
like, and
exam.
no, yeah, like no like spoilers necessarily, but like the the Henry Golding one, I was like, when they were showing out the real life pictures, I was like, okay, so which one was he for real though?
Yeah,
Because like
right,
none of the
right.
pictures are not like no spoiler alert, but like none of the photos were like Asian. It was all like white British dudes. So I was like, okay, so I'm really confused about the Henry Golding one, mostly because I didn't remember anyone's name in the movie.
Right. Like all I remember was again she's the only like female. So like, I know that Isa was Marjorie. Surprise, surprise. And
Oh
I know
yeah,
like
yeah,
I know Babs because they kept saying Babs like her Heron Haran or Heron's name.
yeah.
So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, okay. I know obviously I knew who fucking Winston Churchill is. So I was surprise, surprise. But like Alan's name, Alex's name, Hero's name, Henry's name. I was like, I was like, who? I was like, which one's which? I'm like, I I failed this exam. I was
For
like,
real, who are these people?
so I do, even though we praise the movie, how great they did, like kind of like giving them like distinct and different characters with their moment to shine. I was when they're on screen. I'm like, oh, look, it's Henry Golding. Oh, it's Alex Pettifer. Like, oh, it's that person. So like, I was kind of associating them by their actor's name,
Yeah.
and again, it's tough. It is when you have a big ensemble piece like that. It is tough. I give you I give you like kind of like some leeway for that, but it just to me it got a little distracting because I was like, it reminded me a lot of Dunkirk, where I was like, I don't know any of your names. You're
Right.
you're white boy with sand on your name is Henry Styles, white boy with grease on your face. Like, who was who? Like, 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 come on, guys, you're all British white guys. Like, please, like, distinct yourself, have a name or have like a tag or whatever. So it was like it's gonna be
Yeah.
Dunkirk
Say your
flashbacks.
names more often.
Yes, 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 or make the name distinctful. So like, oh, I remember that name was like whatever XYZ. Like, make it to your point, make it say it more often or make it more distinctful. So that
Yeah.
to me, I was like, oh man, 'cause I have a problem when I can't connect with the character without knowing their name. I'm like, okay, you're like, again, that's why I think the protagonist works so well in Tenet, because like you know who he is, because the mystery kind of adds it to itself, where you're
Yeah,
like
and also you
really
don't need to
aboard.
memorize his name because you don't have one.
Exactly, exactly, and that works. So with this, I think they could have taken some more time to kind of just like distinct like their names, or to your point, say it often so we remember what your name was, or wear name tags or dog tags. Like, look, it's that person, whatever. Because it was just like, all right, but it's again establishing a personal connection for us, the audience, with these characters is important because you have so many people to introduce. Make sure we know who was who and how distinctful they are in terms of their names and who the backgrounds is.
Yeah.
Um, and again, it's also more of a nitpick too. And I call people out on this all the time in movies. When it comes to accents, I give praise when they're done legit, or I can't even tell. But I have to give some slack. I have to give some critique to our American to our Alan and Isa. I thought Alan's accent was kind of overdone.
Yeah, I didn't think that he was going to be Swedish in the movie. That kind of threw me off.
Same here.
It was like, I guess it wasn't like bad per se, but it was just like, it's very like noticeable, I guess. I don't know how else
Right.
to say. It's like, it
It's
really just feels like you're doing an accent, bro. Like, not a
it's
bad accent, but an accent.
it's an accent, and you can tell. Like, there's one time he was like, "Okay, for sure," and then next thing he goes, "Wait, what happened?" I'm like, "I'm to your accent."
Yeah, just disappeared for a second. He's like, what you
Yeah.
talking about, bro? It's like, hey, hold up.
You're like, wait a second. You're not Batman in this. Like, come on, relax. You're not Batman yet, my guy.
Right.
I think Isa too. Isa, like for the most part, like she had it, but there was times she was like, "Oh yeah, this," and I was like, "Welcome to your accent." Like, no, it was just like it
Faded
slipped
away a
out a
couple
bit.
times, huh?
Yeah, it faded a little bit, and that scene where she's at the party, I was like, you're losing your accent a little bit." And again, accents can be are hard. They're hard to do for some actors and for some people. Like it's not easy. But I think what they should have done instead is like they should have made Alan and Isa like either American, like they migrated from the States to go to the UK to fight in World War II, something like that. Because
Yeah.
like Alan was like buff and he was just like swinging people with that axe. Like he was murking
Yeah,
people. So
he
it'd be
looked
like,
like the
hey,
Incredible Hulk in them scenes, bro.
he was. So it's like, hey, sort of like, hey, listen, I'm an American, but I wanted to fight in this war, so I moved to London during this time to fight World War II. And Isa, same thing. Isa was like, hey, I wanted to like be a part of this, war, this historic moment. I'm gonna move to UK or Europe to kind of like, be a part of it, basically. And that to me would have made more sense story wise, because again, their accents are just very just like noticeable that they're kind of just like they're overdone to a degree. Again, I've seen movies with people with great accents, and I've seen movies that I'm like Charlie Hunnam, who I like a lot. The movie The Triple Frontier, you can tell he's like, okay, guys, let's go over here. It's like,
Yeah, it was like coming in and out. You could definitely hear the Pacific Rim. Like he was like Australian,
you
British,
can.
and American all at the
You're
same
like,
time.
huh? And like me and Joel all the time in that movie Brick Mansions with Paul Walker, like RZA, who I legend Wu-Tang Clan. He's like, yeah, guys, I'm getting it. They goes, okay, man, where the food at, man? And we were like, wait, what are you Jamaican out of nowhere? We were like, wait, when did this happen?
Right.
So I was like, okay. Did you catch I didn't notice this till after the movie that did you catch the Glorious Bastards connection? Not like same universe, but like the actor was also in Glorious Bastards.
I think I did. It was the dude that was having all them interactions with Isaac Gonzalez, right?
Yeah, the Nazi general.
Yeah, because I was like, he looks familiar.
He
And
was
like
in Glorious
I was like,
Bastards.
is that him? That's gotta be him. Because like I could only every time I saw him, I just thought about Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, I forgot who he played in Glorious Bastards. I remember him at the start of the movie. I was going to do my little notes for today's podcast, and I was like, "Who's he again?" And I mean,
he was the dude that was with Michael Fassbender's
that's right.
character.
That's right.
And,
that's
and
right.
that scene in the bar.
The iconic scene. That's right. That's right. So he's kind of typecast as like a German Nazi.
Yeah, an angry German dude in the 40s.
Yeah.
In World War II.
Literally, like Atomic Blonde, he plays an angry German. The Pitch Perfect TV series plays an angry German. So he's kind of like
in the Pitch Perfect series.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, well, I saw the trailer for it. I haven't watched it yet, but no, I didn't know that he was in
It's
those.
okay. It was okay. The Pitch Perfect TV show, the TV
Hmm.
show, that show was kind of ass. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it
He was
doesn't. It didn't seem like they needed to make that.
he was also the villain in This Means War with Tom Hardy.
Oh my god, I do not
So,
remember him in that movie at all.
neither do I. So I was like,
Jeez.
huh? So he's kind of like the good typecast for like you need to go to angry looking German villain. He's your guy.
Yeah.
Till Schweiger. So again, he looks like a bad guy, and so like I appreciated like the kind of coincidence of like the connection of like that and Glorious Bastard because they're very similar movies.
Hmm.
But he's kind of playing a kind of generic World War II villain. Like not a lot of
Yeah.
depth to the guy personally. I'm like, oh, he's kind of like playing like the angry, like, this is my war. This is my nine. This is
Right.
my war. So I was like, okay, man, like you're not really. I mean, I don't, except for maybe like Sherlock Holmes and like maybe Gentleman. Like, I don't think. I think there's some like really good like A Man from Uncle was a super underrated movie from him too. Um,
Yeah.
there's some really good villains in Guy Ritchie movies. And there's some really like generic, to your point, generic, basic, kind of forgettable villains in his movies. I think, unfortunately, even though those movies awesome, I had a lot of fun with it. I thought the villain was kind of just like kind of just
Hmm.
like another generic Nazi villain. I was like, seen it before. We see Captain America, the first Avenger before.
Yeah.
We know. Um, what they're okay. This is more of a nitpick too. I'll end with this. I love when movies are shot on location. I love real sets, real production, real things being made, and the shots on the water looked awesome. The shots on the train looked really cool.
Yeah.
Like it was really cool. But I'm not gonna lie, when they got to the island, it was getting like a theme park, Universal Studios
Oh,
kind of
really?
vibe. I was like, oh no, because like for me, like what I like to see, like when I see like, real sets and like real locations, it's
Uh-huh.
kind of like it's a realism adds to the realism, authenticity. Like
Yeah.
I really appreciate like real again. I know it's more expensive. I know it's way more, more labor and more production costs. I get it, but when I see a movie shot on location, it adds so much to like realism, authenticity. Like, oh, it's so cool. Like, look like a real place. And again,
Yeah.
the stuff on the boat, the stuff in London, stuff like on the train. Like, oh, it looks great. And then I think they got to the island. I was like, oh no, like what's going on? What's going on here, guys? Like
Yeah.
it looked very soundstage, like Universal Studios, like backlot kind of thing. And I was like,
Okay, I
uh,
got you.
you know what I'm saying? I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
No,
like
that's a good point because like I'm definitely during in comparison, like all of the scenes like on the water and in like out at sea, like I kept thinking like these look like really, really good. Like the cinematography here
right.
was really good. It kind of looked like not like music video esque, but almost kind of not artsy, but like I get like very picturesque. I'll say that, and it looked like it was just dope. But yeah, to your point, I didn't really get that like at the base that they went to.
Yeah. It's at night, at night, at night, not noticeable. At night, not noticeable. I'll tell you that. Not noticeable at night. But I did think when they first got there and they're walking around, and then that scene like the bars and the party just felt like really like sound stage of like, hey, look, we're at this thing right now. Look at us, and it's like, oh man, like because like I feel like for the most part his movies, maybe minus Aladdin, that like they
Mm,
feel like are actual sets like King Arthur or
yeah,
stuff like A Man from Uncle, like Sherlock Holmes is a good example. Like it feels like the grittiness kind of feels like not polished. It felt a little too polished when they were on the island. I was like,
mm,
it's given like backlot Universal Studios. Like, look at us, like the
yeah,
fake palm trees and like the fake like, Ben Hur horses and stuff. I was like, I don't know, guys. Like, I don't know. But again, that's more of a nitpick. I really appreciate when film go the extra mile to shoot on location. Like, that's why I love the
uh-huh,
creator so much because it was like, oh, like look, we're on location. We built real sets. It feels very kind of authentic. Where again, I know it's cheaper. I know it's time. It's more easy with time for on sound stages. Again, there's times where films are being filmed on sound stages. I'm like, that looks so real. How they do that? And there's times like this where I was like, okay, yeah, I know this is a stage. I know this is a set.
yeah,
um, it's more of a nitpick for my critiques. But I had so much fun with this movie with you. It was such a good time, and so it's such fun seeing movies like this scale, this level on the big screen with an audience. With people, like, audience was laughing, they were clapping, they were cheering, stuff like that. It definitely adds a lot to the experience. So yeah, I'm giving this really a solid 7.5 out of 10 in my top 10 of the year for sure so far. It was just fun, man. Henry Cavill's a great leading man, and the ensemble piece of this it just really works. The ensembleness of it all, and the Guy Ritchie kind of like his vibe is very all over this, but it is so fun to watch. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10 for sure. I had a good time with this movie.
I'm not mad at that. Yeah, I'm with that.
It was good. I'm looking forward to revisiting it down the road eventually, and kind of like watching for the action set, because the action in this is crazy. The action in this is absurd. Like the shootouts, the gunfights are wild. But oh man, all right, my friend,
these are incredible.
Right? Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, the stuff, the swords, the knives. I'm just like, god damn. Like,
bro, I was not expecting that.
The axe scene that we saw in the trailer, the trailer, we were like, oh my god.
Yeah, we was like, oh shit. When he saw it on the wall, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, bro, like, that was the best audience when like he grabs the axe, the audience went, oh, started clapping and stuff.
It was like all in unison.
Yeah, they were like, yes, we wanted to see, yes.
They're all chanting, axe,
axe, axe,
axe, axe. I remember how fucking Drew, what's his name, Drewski? He was like, somebody smell like shit, and like everyone just like kept saying it. They just kept repeating it, but like louder and louder and louder. Somebody smell like shit. Like the fucking room is just shaking. Everything's vibrating. You could feel the air molecules vibrating too. You're just like,
we're being transported.
Yeah, to like another universe. Oh my
Where are we
God.
going?
They're all staring at us. It just becomes very like nightmarish. They all like circle around us. They keep chanting it, staring at us, and we wind up in some alternate reality where everything cinema-wise like goes right. Damn, that'd be kind of dope.
Everything goes, dude. There you go. That's your thing. That's your tagline. Everything goes right. Honestly, it kind of sounds like the "Who Are You" sequel. I'm not gonna lie, my friend. Wink, wink.
Damn, that'd be kind of dope.
I'm saying, man.
Kind of dope. Like instead of everything going like kind of like weird and shitty for this guy, it's just like a montage of everything finally going the way he wants to.
Or does it? And then you turn to the camera, wink. Black.
Oh my God. Yeah, that'd be crazy. That would be intense.
Oh man. All right, my friend. We are at time, my friend. But before we go, as always, if you're new to the show, we do our thing called the one-on-ones of the week. We do a one show and one movie that we think that is very underrated or very deserves of your attention or watching. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, hey, all due respect, no worries. Hey, all film is subjective. We understand. So we close out the show with our one-on-one, one film, and one TV rec of the week. Nick, my friend, what are your one-on-ones of this week?
So for my film one-on-one this week, I was actually thinking about this as I was leaving work. It's this. I believe it was either 2005 or 2006 was when it released. I want to say 2005. A film called V for Vendetta, produced by the Wachowskis. Starring Hugo Weaving as the character V, the enigmatic character V, or should I say the very enigmatic character V. Natalie Portman as the character Evie. It also had Stephen Fry, the late John Hurt, solid cast. And basically it was based off of an Alan Moore comic book. And the movie itself is basically, it takes place like in the not too distant future in, I want to say London. And it's just like it's a corrupt government, and this guy in a Guy Fawkes mask who goes by the name V. He basically just starts tearing shit up, and he's kind of trying to tear down the corrupt government. And he, like I said, he's played by Hugo Weaving, and it was really, really cool because, again, like the Wachowskis were a part of this, and by the time this movie came out, I was a little kid. I was like 7 at the time, and I was just obsessed with anything like comic book related. And this movie, just visually, it was very interesting to see this dude in all black with a Guy Fawkes mask just kind of running around and like on some low-key Batman shit. And like the movie was really cool. There was this like action scene at the end where I'm not gonna spoil it, but I definitely would recommend it. But it was just like not yeah, mesmerizing isn't like necessarily the best word, but it was just a fun movie to watch, because as a kid, I'm just looking at it as an action movie. But the older I get, the more I'm kind of like, the more you think about, okay, so this is what this character was saying, and like, okay, this is what this represented, and everything like that. So it was just it's a good movie. It's deep. I haven't read the comic book that is based off of, so I can't really compare it, but it's good. It's really solid, and I think it holds up well. And the show I just recently started watching How to Get Away with Murder.
Ooh.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's really good. It's a Shonda Rhimes show, and I was watching Grey's Anatomy a while ago. I'm watching How to Get Away with Murder now, and I just saw the first episode of Scandal a couple weeks ago, and those were all like Shonda Rhimes shows, and I really like how she um I really like how she does her stories. Like How to Get Away with Murder, it's just the title alone is very interesting, and the fact that it's kind of centered around Annalise Keating, played by Viola Davis,
The
and like
goat.
the backdrop of it is her teaching how to get away with murder, quote unquote, is very fascinating. And seeing how like she's such an amazing lawyer, but she so often also goes outside of the law to do what she does is really fascinating to watch. And all of the characters are really cool to watch, especially Alfred Enoch, who was it's cool for me to see him on in this show because he was in the Harry Potter movies, and those are some of my favorite movies. So it's like
Oh,
seeing
that's right.
yeah. So
He's
seeing
Dean. Yeah, Dean Thomas. Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. And dude, like not to sound like a geek, but he had like a lot more shit kind of going on in the books. Like apparently in the books, he and I think he and his mother thought that his father just left them, but he was actually killed by a Death Eater.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
and
know
it's
what?
like it's like
I remember this. I remember this.
you
Yes,
remember that?
yes.
And
I
he
remember
he
this.
was dating Jenny too before Harry.
I remember this. I remember. I remember this. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes. I read all the books. That's right. I'll tell you what though, if they do the TV series, which I kind of hope they don't,
Mhm.
I bet you they'll probably explore more of his character in the series.
I hope they do because in the movies he was really just, and I get why, but it's like they didn't. He was just there. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't anything that particularly stood out to me about this character, but hearing all of this stuff from the books that he was kind of going through, it's like, oh dang, that's much more interesting. And hopefully the show is good. Like hopefully they're at least as good as the movies. I really hope that they like stay truthful to the books too. I wouldn't mind seeing a lot more stuff explored in the show, and I feel like it's going
Yeah,
to be a good way to do that, especially the whole
yeah.
thing with Harry and Neville.
I hope so. Again, if they do it right,
Yeah,
I don't want them to do it, but if they do it, just do it justice, please. Just do it
yeah. And
justice.
going back to the whole Spider-Man thing, if you're gonna like, don't just do it to get like an audience and to make money. Like, do it because like I really care about this story, and I can bring something new and fresh and special to it.
Well, it's funny. I think they found one of like I think they found like a showrunner,
Uh-huh.
and they asked her like, "Do you like Harry Potter?" She goes, "Not really." I'm
Hell
like,
no.
"Oh," I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, I don't want to
Hell
hear that,
no.
bro. Like, it broke my heart, dude. I think it was on TikTok or something I saw. Like, they asked the girl, like, "Are you a Harry Potter fan?" She goes, Not really." I'm like, "Oh,
Well, damn.
uh,
I don't know how I feel
uh."
about that, but hopefully it's still good.
I will cry, dude. I will cry. I will buy every Kleenex box I can.
I'd
I'll
be
cry.
so
I'll cry.
disappointed. Oh my gosh.
Um,
But no, yeah,
do
that's my one-on-one. V for Vendetta and How to Get Away with Murder.
V for Vendetta is on my list. Been on my list forever. I don't know why I
You
haven't seen
you
that
haven't
movie
seen
yet.
it?
Dude, I know, dude.
It's good.
Uh,
It's really good. Like, bro, like I was obsessed with that movie when I was a kid, bro.
isn't there? Is there? So this is why I heard this. Like, I heard this quite a bit. I don't know if this is true or not, but the rumor is here's all time in Hollywood and movies, whatever, behind the scenes. The rumor was that the Wachowskis actually directed that movie because like James McTeague, I think, got the credit for it. But the rumor was that the Wachowskis kind of
Hmm.
like ghost directed it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised about that because the guy that directed, what's his name?
James McTeague.
because he was, I think, like the assistant director or something like that in the Matrix movies, and that was kind of like how he got that role or that part, not that part, the role of director. Fuck it,
Right? Yeah.
but
Actually,
no, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because I don't know that he's done anything. Not like he hasn't done anything else, but I haven't heard of him doing anything else like as noticeable. And like when in a lot of the promotion for V for Vendetta, it says like from the Wachowskis or from the creators or the Matrix or something like that. They're not saying like, oh, this director, they're trying to remind you of the Matrix and the Wachowskis and everything. So
yeah, it's the pure marketing.
Yeah, and again, Hugo Weaving is the lead, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were ghost directing it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It would surprise me either. But you hear it all the time. You hear how Alex Garland actually directed Dredd, the Dredd remake. Like, you hear that all the time. You hear that all the time. Like, I know that big one was that Tony Gilroy actually directed Rogue One, and Gareth Edwards goes, "No, that didn't happen." But again, that's what he's telling us. We don't know for sure. But you hear all the time that like, oh, this person actually directed this movie, or this person actually directed this movie. But I remember like hearing from different people on different podcasts are saying that the Wachowskis are actually the one that directed V for Vendetta. But it's on my list. You know what happens though? It happens all the time with me. I have the worst luck. That's why I buy movies to this day. I start a movie on Netflix or HBO, whatever. Go back the next day, it's gone.
Damn, every time.
It happens more than you think, my friend. I swear.
No, I'm like, it'd be like fuck? That sometimes, bro.
Because I did a whole Matrix watch during COVID. I was texting you about it, like what I thought about it, stuff like that. But first, I seen the Matrix 1 a long time ago, but like I watched 2 and 3 for the first time during COVID. I was texting you about it for preparation for like the new one. And then I was gonna watch Speed Racer, unfortunately. And I was gonna watch V for Vendetta. And I remember I started watching on HBO. And I think I fell asleep. I went back the next day. It was like, sorry, it's gone. And I was like, well, what the fuck? And like I haven't seen it on streaming since. I probably rent it or buy it somewhere. But I was like, oh man, it was that and Ready or Not. I was watching that both like around the same time, watching half of it, came back to the next day. Sorry, it's gone. And I was like, what the hell?
You're like, you
do this to me? Yeah. You're killing me with this shit. You're killing me with this shit.
Okay, bro, 30 years of my life with it.
So real quick, James McTeague after that has done Ninja Assassin.
Hold up. No, okay.
No, go ahead.
I'm like, Ninja Assassin, bro.
That was his.
I'm trying to let me double check. I'm like, is that the one that I'm thinking about?
Naomi Harris.
Oh shit, yup.
Actor named by Rain. Oh, guess what? And the Wachowskis produced that as well.
You said Rain? What's that? Which one was that?
No, the actor's name is Rain.
Oh,
the actor name is Rain.
Okay, and the Wachowskis didn't. They produced Ninja Assassin as well.
Yep.
Okay, very interesting.
Interesting.
I think they probably only produced that one. I don't think they really directed that one.
I don't think so.
Because it's like, hey, my boy, we're not gonna do 2 of your movies for you.
Right.
Shit.
Right. Pick up your own slack.
Yeah. We just did the Matrix play. We're not just doing a ninja now.
No. What do you think this is? They did the Raven.
The Raven.
He did the Raven.
Oh, with John Cusack.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's him. Then a movie called Survivor with Pierce Brosnan and Mila Jovovich.
Okay, I saw the trailer for that movie. I wasn't really I didn't see it. It just kind of
no one did, bro. No one did.
Yeah, because one like no disrespect, but like
no one did, bro.
With Mia Jovovich, like she's not a bad actor at all, but like I don't think people are really like going to movies like specifically for her. I like maybe partially because it's the whole like Resident Evil kind of stink. Because like I know like they kept making those movies, but like it's not like who was asking for them low key.
Yeah, no one was.
Yeah, and like with Pierce Brosnan too, he just kept doing movies like that. Because you just mentioned Survivor, he did like the November Man that came out around that time, and I think all of those are basically just like, hey, people like you as James Bond, low-key, let's put you in this action. The Foreigner. Yeah, it's like a shorter, more British version, low-key of Liam Neeson in that sense.
Is definitely doing it for the check. He's definitely doing it for the check.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Oh my gosh, I liked him as James Bond though. Die Another Day is a guilty pleasure of mine.
Has a good soundtrack. See that has a good soundtrack.
It really
I'll
does,
give
dude. At the time, like when that movie came out, I was like, "Yo, this is like the biggest James Bond movie ever." It felt like all the other movies were just kind of leading to that, and like, just I don't know why, but I think it was like the gadgets. I just like loved watching how they just kind
Oh, they were
of had
badass.
like any type of whatever the fuck gadget.
Oh, it was dope. Dude.
That's
Like,
that,
I
that, that
I
shit
want to be that one day.
Yeah, that shit was, and also like I feel like Die Another Day kind of had potential, like because the whole another reason why I liked it so much is like that opening sequence where it's like he was being tortured in that other country for like a year and a half or some shit. I was like, yo, they did that to James Bond.
Yeah.
They had this dude for a year and a half, and like she's like, we gave you like a cyanide a pill, like a cyanide tooth pill to take. He's like, I took that out like right after I gave it to him. I was like, hey, this dude's hardcore. He said, I'd rather be tortured for damn near 2 years than end it, than unalive myself. Like that guy, and like in the movie too. I know I'm like ranting, but they were like,
No, go ahead.
they had to pull him out of there because they were like, yo, some of our information got leaked, and he's like, and then he had this line because M was telling them this. He's like, our information got leaked, and you know, like we think someone talked. He was like, and the thing is me. Dang, he pointed to himself. He's like, y'all think I snitched? She was like, you were the only inmate. It's like, dang, like, and because they made it a point, like they were saying like they were beating you senseless, they were like torturing you and like poisoning you, and so we didn't know if you were talking or not, but we do know you were the only inmate that they had in there, and someone told all of our business. So yeah, we think it's you. And like he starts off the movie low key by going rogue, and like you know they kind of kept doing that, but it was just like it's like that's kind of interesting. They ended up backtracking on it later on in that movie because like he went rogue and then he just kind of ended up working for the MI6 again. And it's like you should have just had it where he went rogue for the whole movie. So that's my
Yeah, that makes
you
more
feel
sense.
me?
That makes more sense. Yeah, I like that.
Because it's like
Better approach.
yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't have him because again, it's like y'all started this off so good. Y'all started off again like you put him in a situation he's never been in. Every James Bond movie up until that point, he's always been on top. So you started this movie, he's at his lowest, bro. And now it's like he has to go rogue and it's literally just a revenge mission. This wasn't MI6 assigning him this. He was like, no, someone basically betrayed me in that jail and I'm going after him. But then like halfway through the movie when it's like, oh, I've been working with M this whole time. It's like, well, shit. Well, you kind of just backtracked on everything. Now the movie overall just feels a little less special. However, like, you know, it's like however it's like maybe James Bond is a little unhinged now or something like that. Just make it like a darker movie. It got caught up in that whole it's early
Cheesy.
2000s. Let's make everything kind of like bright and shiny and low key a little bit weird and shit. Nah, this should have been just like a dark grounded James Bond revenge movie.
Right. They definitely did the corniness and the camp factor was really apparent. Like they were still on that like kind of like look at how cheesy it is. And people were like, nah, bro, we're over that shit. We're over that shit. That's why I think why Christopher Nolan has so much pressure on Batman because they were like, now this early 2000s shit, we don't want this cheesy bullshit, man.
Yeah,
we don't want it, bro.
We don't want that shit.
We want the dough.
He's like, I can't take this shit no more.
That's a good point. I haven't seen Pierce Brosnan's Bond movies in a long time. But
like the first one is really good, and the first one's cool because it wasn't like the flashy, I'm super fancy James Bond. Like it was like one of his just kind of like grittier missions. It's like he's in a suit, but it's just a basic kind of bland suit. And in the books, apparently that was not like his whole point, but that was a larger aspect of his character was he wasn't always doing all this like fancy shit. Like he's one of those guys that he looks good in like a business suit. He looks good in like a tuxedo, or like he's able to blend in like that, or like he's supposed to be.
Yeah, right. He playing that kind of like the slick, kind of just like blends in with the crowd.
Yeah,
kind of.
Kind of.
I know what you mean.
I guess like kind of like the whole Hitman Agent 47 thing, where it's like like all of the disguises and shit like that, where it's just like you are whatever role we need you to be. Like that's what we need you to embody. So I just that was the interesting thing with Die Another Day was like it wasn't like the fancy, extravagant, grandiose James Bond that we do see, especially with the Daniel Craig movies. It was really just, hey man, I'm just a spy here to kill some people. Mhm.
And that definitely with Daniel Craig's one, they made it more like Jason Bourne in a way. They had
Yeah.
me one of the Jason Bourne kind of route of like that of Daniel Craig's Bond movies where I think they still had the kind of that old school James Bond feel to it with Pierce Brosnan's one, and then obviously they kind of just like did a whole revamp with Daniel Craig's one.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think. He did GoldenEye, which is GoldenEye is pretty iconic. They did Tomorrow Never Dies. I don't think I've seen that one.
I I saw it, but it doesn't stick out in my mind.
Yeah, it's not the world's not enough.
That was a weird one.
Oh, that's the one with Denise Richards. I'm a scientist.
Yeah, she
Oh
was like a
God.
nuclear physicist or something like that.
And that her delivery. Yes, I'm a scientist. Okay. Okay. No. No. No.
That's
We're
that's one
not.
of
We're
those.
not doing that.
That's one of those like, oh, I didn't hear about this one type of movies.
Yeah, you're like, oh, great, great. We're watching this. Fan
Yeah.
gets the beer, gets the blunt. Like, come on
Oh
now.
my god,
It's gonna be a long night.
that's real.
You know what? I gotta watch V for that. I want to watch V for that. It's on my list. It's my high priority list. I gotta watch. I gotta watch this because I know because you sold me on it even more now.
Yeah, V for Vendetta is fucking dope.
All right, let me see my little list for my one and ones of the week. I'm trying to pick more underrated stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think V for Vendetta is a very underrated. I think it's a perfect perfect choice. I still haven't seen that.
Yeah, because it's good. It's low key. It's Elseworlds Batman.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Good pitch.
Thank you, Mike.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that shit. I'm trying to think. What have I had a list of like on my letterbox, like like things that I think are underrated. I did that one already. I'm trying to think not to repeat myself a lot. Done that one. I've done that one.
Oh, actually, yeah. Give me 1 second. While you
You're
think
good.
about that,
You're good.
I'm gonna be right back.
You're good. You're good. I think. Yeah, no. I'm telling you, to our audience, like guys, have a list. I'll take that. Have a list. Have like a spreadsheet. 'Cause I feel like it's something I kind of get like, what have I not recommended enough or not? I got one. Yeah, if you're a Key and Peele fan, you're gonna love this one for sure.
Okay, I'm
All
right
right.
back.
All right, I got one for you. My movie this week, I'm gonna do Keanu with the Key and Peele.
Heck yeah.
I love this movie so much. It makes me laugh every time I see it. The scene where the hash goes in, she goes, "Y'all in the right place," and Key like breaks character, goes, "Yeah, we're in the right place, motherfucker. You in the right place, motherfucker." Because they're so like they're just nerds. They're just like corny guys. They're like really like kind of like they pay their bills and they're very kind of just like really straight guys. They're like, yeah, for sure, we do our shit, whatever.
Yeah.
And like seeing Jordan Peele and the team kick Michael Key go like full like trying to be gangster is so it's so funny. And the other day I was quoting this line to my dad the other day. The best line in the movie to me is when they're like, the man's like, hey, like. Anyway, Key and Peele is basically Keanu's basically like a Key and Peele movie to a degree.
Yeah.
It's Jordan Peele's kind of just got dumped, finds this kind of stray cat on the streets, whatever, and then he kind of helps like the cat kind of helps him like cure his like depression or whatever. Like it's all a comedy. And then one day, a gang and a drug lord break into his house and steal his cat, and so him and his cousin, played by Keegan Michael Key, go to like find out who stole his cat. And again, they're like the most like straight. They are straight dudes. They are just like super like they're movie nerds. They're music nerds. They're like the not far from gangster, far from tough. They're just kind of like the basic guy.
Not like square dudes, but kind of like
pushovers.
Yeah. Like if I was walking down the street and I ran into them, I would take their lunch money.
Yeah. That's great.
I'm playing, y'all. My mama raised me better than that.
That's great. I mean, but it's true. It's like they're the right kind of just like, how's it going? Sure.
Yeah, very non-threatening.
Right, not threatening. And so they're
like the anti John Wick.
Right. Was again Keanu, which is perfect.
Yeah.
And basically, like they they basically pose as like kind of like gang members to like get the cat back by this like drug kingpin played by Method Man. And the best line in the movie though is when they're doing like kind of like Method Man's like, all right, you are like you're like others, these like criminal warlords we heard about from the other town. Take my crew under your wing, have them shadow you, whatever. And then they're outside the parking lot. They go, okay, we'll do some icebreakers. They go, what icebreakers? What? And like, they're just kind of like, because they don't know how to be gangster, they don't be thug. And so like the guy he goes, yo, back in my day, I used to run track, did the high mile jump.
Oh
And there's all right, Shark Tank. All right, what you do? He goes, I'm so thug that back in my day, the lights back in my day, I saw exclusive screening of Blair Witch Project, and man, that shit fucked me up because we didn't know we didn't know if it was real or not.
No, they was wild for that movie, bro.
And it's so funny because like Jordan Peele wrote it with his Key and with one of the staff writers from Key and Peele, and it's so funny. It came out, it didn't do too well, unfortunately, but like it's really a funny, super underrated comedy movie. Tiffany Haddish kind of her first big roles in that.
That's right.
Method Man, Key and Peele, obviously. Nia Long is in it. It's a really funny movie. It's super underrated. It's definitely came out right after Key and Peele ended, so it's kind of like the last slice of Key and Peele that we had, but they didn't do too well. But it's a very underrated comedy. If you like animals, you're a pet lover, definitely for that. But it's definitely kind of like a funnier John Wick-esque thing. And they're the line with the minivan, he goes, "You want to be low key? Drive a low key ass vehicle." And then the minivan.
No, that movie was a true. I actually that was like the first movie that we watched in was it Film and Ethics at ASU?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the first movie that my class had watched. I was like,
oh, I'm jealous.
I fell in love with that class right after that. I took that class just because I knew I'd be watching movies every class period.
I'm jealous. I took that class the semester after you, and we just watched nothing but like things I couldn't stand. I was like,
I thought you took that class before me.
No, dude. Maybe I did. You know what? I did. I did. That's right.
You told me like, yeah, bro. We literally watch movies every class in that.
We did
in that class. I was like, oh, y'all just be watching like the clips and stuff. You're like, no, bro. We watched the whole movie. I said, you watched the whole movie every class.
I remember when you joined it, you told me what you watched. I was like, I was so jealous because like you had a better slate of movies that semester than I did.
Really?
I had like the South Park movie. I had some like weird movies that were so like weird Peter Jackson like zombie movie that I could not stand.
Oh,
and
because I remember you told me about that. I forgot what it was called, but I'm like, I gotta watch that movie.
Dead Inside, I think it's called.
Dead Inside. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it not like an 80s or a 90s movie?
Yeah.
Dude, I think I saw a clip from it where they had like the zombie on the table and they were like, why do you eat brains? And she was like, it numbs the pain, like we feel our bodies decomposing. Was it that movie?
That's the one.
Dude, I saw that clip. I didn't know that was Peter Jackson. That's dope. Because I was like, okay, that kind of explains it. That's fascinating.
I remember me and Moses were like, yeah, we were not liking it. We were like, and I heard what you watch, I heard what other people watch. I'm like, are y'all kidding me?
Yeah, we had some bangers in that class.
I'm so jealous you watched Dead Alive. Dead Alive, it's called. Dead Alive, that's what it's called. And I cannot stand that. But I love Kia. The one thing that makes me laugh too is like they're playing his music, whatever. He goes, "What the fuck is this?" And it's like George Michael, and then Key goes, "Ah, shit, this is my shit," and then starts singing. And its delivery is so funny, dude. I love that movie.
Well, the part that fucking killed me with that one was like kind of at the towards the end where they got arrested for everything, and they're like,
yeah.
What? They're like, well, yeah, because you committed all these crimes. It was like, yeah, that makes sense. I was like, no other movie I've seen like really acknowledged that before.
They never acknowledged it, and you're absolutely right.
I look at that movie like as that's the Key and Peele series finale.
Yes.
Yes,
Nick. As the finale. It's a perfect finale too, because like you see a lot of movies like of like shows like that came out after the show ended. They're not as good, not as like good quality, but like Keanu was like a perfect like topper of just like, hey, the Key and Peele show is coming to an end. Here's our last kind of like goodbye.
Yeah,
It's a very underrated movie. So if you watch Keanu, if you're a Key and Peele fan or comedy fan, go watch Keanu. It is super funny.
that
Um,
movie's hilarious.
so funny. Okay, let me think of my show. I can't say Entourage before, so I can't use that. I'm trying to think of like really good. I wanted to watch Westworld, but again, same thing. I was
Mm.
watching it like a year or two ago, pulled off of HBO, and I'm like, please,
I,
please.
I always heard about the show. I don't think I was either like just unable to watch it at the time,
Right.
or was just like, well, it's already like a few seasons deep, and I kind of got a lot of shit going on, so I'm not gonna be watching it. But I watched like the YouTube channel Man of Recaps, and so
Great name.
it's like I'm like kind of caught up on the show. I haven't watched it, but I've seen like because he he recaps it season
Yeah.
by season, so I just watched those. I'm like, okay, this is kind of fascinating. Still probably not gonna go back and watch it, but I guess I've been entertained by the summaries that I have thus far heard.
Yeah. Yeah. I think same thing. Like I didn't have HBO till like a year or two ago, and I got
Okay,
it.
me
It's
too.
cool.
Okay, that's why I didn't
Right?
watch it.
You and I both,
Okay.
bro. You and I, you're not alone, my friend. You and I both.
I didn't
I
have
was like,
HBO. I had YouTube.
yeah, bro. YouTube. I used to pirate shit.
Oh man, oh we
Um,
better edit that out, Doug.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um,
Not
uh,
me, not me, FBI.
yeah. I'm sorry, FBI agent, if you're listening. um, no, no, so I'm watching it. I was like, finally, I got HBO finally, and they go, oh, that's cute, yeet, and they took
Oh,
Westworld off the show, and I was like, oh man. So I
yeah,
was
that
like
hurt.
that. The fucking Charlie Brown music, the dun, 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 like the really sad, like walking away music. But I'm trying to think for a good show, for a good series I haven't recommended. You know what? I also need to watch more TV. I'll tell you that. I said Undeclared. Can I watch a show on anywhere? Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, a show called Hood Adjacent with James Davis. It's a very funny
I heard
show.
about that show.
It's funny, dude. I like James Davis. To me, he's very. I remember watching him in Wild 'N Out back in the day. He was very quick. He was very quick with his banter,
Mm-hmm.
and he was very funny. It's funny because like he talked about him being the token black friend at like Pomona College, and how like, hey, because man, if you're a token black guy at most of the white college, guess what? You get free shit for life. He goes, man, I got so many Jordans, I got so many shoes, man. I didn't pay for a single meal when I was there. And he was talking about like, because like he's talking about like how like he's like, yeah, because I could be a hood at times, but I could be like kind of like low key on my golf shit at the same time as well. And he kind of like, it's kind of like it was a Comedy Central show that came out and kind of came and went. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it talks about how it talks about like how much like he talks about like how he like the show didn't really do well and that they want a different direction. So he kind of walked away from it. He goes, I ain't Chappelle walk away, but like I walked away from like some money because of a different direction the show was going in. So it was a one season show. But it was really funny because like it was he's very quick and he's very doing some like kind of like again quote unquote hood stuff, then kind of doing like stuff with golf, whatever. He would bring in some of his friends from like from like college, whatever, from like his comedy days, and it was funny. It was funny seeing kind of like just like his kind of just like how he kind of discovered like certain things of like how certain situations, whether it was like going to the hood and buying food or going to this and doing this. It was like college or Black Twitter or golf or what, or the hood pass, whatever. Like, and we brought his white friend to go to get a hood pass, whatever. And he was like, all right,
Oh my
how do we?
gosh.
He goes, how do we apply for a hood pass? And he was like taking notes and shit.
That's fucking wild, bro.
And it was funny, but yeah, it's on Paramount Plus. It's a really funny show. It did not do well, unfortunately, at all. So if you have Paramount Plus, or you can watch it like on clips on YouTube, some certain sketches, whatever. It's a really funny show. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna do Keanu as my show of the week, and then my TV show is Hood Adjacent with James Davis. So both Comedy Central basically alums is my theme of the week. But it's a good show. It's funny because I like when it's kind of like when it feels real, it doesn't feel like stage, and it was kind of like it's very quick and witty humor, which I enjoy about it. So yeah, it was a good show that lasted very shortly, unfortunately. But alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much this week for joining us on this episode. If you're new to the show again, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Hope you guys stick with us for the next whenever. We have again a lot of good things coming out in the pipeline this summer with a lot more reviews, trying to do the video podcast that me and Nick are working on right now for you guys this summer. So look out for that. So, but honestly, guys, thank you so much for supporting the show, sticking with us. It means a lot to us. Again, the support. We feel the love, feel the support. It means a lot to us. And seeing how the show's been growing, it really is a dream come true. So thank you guys so much. But Nick, on that note, where can our audience at home find you before we close off for the night?
I'm gonna be honest with you. You can find me on YouTube at Dawning Vision, capital D for Dawning, capital V for Vision, and on Instagram at Dawning Vision, all lowercase, all one word, and anywhere and everywhere that you can find podcasts.
Sir, and as mentioned too, you can find Nick's YouTube as well as Nick's award-winning short film on our link tree. You can also find Joel's Twitch, and you can find Moses' also award-winning short film on our link tree as well. So again, we have I'm telling you guys, all listeners, you are talking to a room of great filmmakers. You got Nick with an amazing short film that he won an award for. Most amazing short film that he won an award for. These guys, I'm telling you, the blood, sweat, and tears they put into their movies is so rewarding and it's so remarkable. It's very inspiring. So check them out. Give them a review. They are so worth it. It's remarkable what Moses and Nick achieved with their filmmaking. Because again, on their level, they're killing us. I'm really proud of you boys.
Thank you, thank you so much
for your films. Oh, of course. You can find me, guys, of course, on Instagram at The Young Jones. You can also find me on Twitter or X at Capri Sun, Capri_Sun, SON. And you can find the show socials at Midway Avenue Productions on Instagram and TikTok. And of course, our YouTube page, youtube.com/Midway Avenue Productions. Thank you again, guys, for everything. We love doing the show. And as always, we'll see you at the movies.